Look at LeBron having fun.
Look at DeMarcus. Right next to him. By the way, DeMarcus has not been ruled out for the season. That's something that was said the other day. So on this Taco Tuesday, there's DeMarcus Cousins. Lakers are going to give their fans tacos. And that's what they're chanting.
Look at LeBron.
Look at LeBron.
Look at LeBron, the inventor of Taco Tuesday.
That's right.
Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, happy Tuesday, guys.
Buddy, you notice a little glow about me?
What's going on?
Welcome, America, to the 2024 Emirates NBA Cup.
Oh, my God.
Kicking off tonight.
We're doing this again?
Really?
Yeah. The ultimate prize.
So this is not the in-season tournament?
We don't call it that anymore.
Okay.
It's the NBA Cup. And
The
group
NBA
play
Cup.
starts tonight, pal.
Who do we got on the slate?
Mavs Nugs.
Again?
I call them the Nuggets. We'll hear from Michelle Beadle later on what she's calling them. Oh, excuse me, Warriors. I don't know why I said that. Yeah, they got the Warriors tonight.
Oh, okay.
It's Captain Clay night.
Oh, nice.
Clay returns.
They're giving away. Yeah, it's at Golden State.
Okay.
Late TNT game.
9 o'clock.
And they are
Nice.
giving away for every fan in attendance a commemorative captain's hat in the style of the one that Clay would wear whenever he would drive his boat to games and practice across the bay.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of a cool bit.
You can't have hatred for Clay when he comes back.
I hope he has hatred for them, though, because we really need a dub.
Well, they're kind of better than you thought, right?
Yeah, by a lot.
That's unfortunate.
That is unfortunate.
That's
Why are all these
Steph
other
Curry.
teams playing good?
Yeah, it's tough. You got Buddy Hield. Anyways,
So today,
big day in the NBA, folks.
Yes.
I don't like how Buddy Hield thinks he's the new Splash Brother.
He's playing pretty well, Blake. Go on, Dan. Oh, who are you?
I'm Dan.
Blake,
Now you're
Do
the
it again.
czar of this. I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Jay Kemp.
I'm Blake Jones.
All right. Here we are on a Tuesday. Yesterday was dominated by Cowboys on our program. And today we'll have a dash of Cowboys, but I think won't be dominated. I don't know how we're going to fit all this in as I look at the run sheet.
It's quite a bit.
We've got Brandon Aubrey, his weekly visit. We'll talk about other stuff. Tim, Good Samaritan Tim,
Mm-hmm.
who listens to our show, said it's like Mariano Rivera on the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I like it.
Just some kind of, if you have a world-class closer that can never miss, but you're on a team that wins 60 games a year. That's what it's like having Brandon Aubrey right now in the Cowboys. He's awesome. Can't miss. One of the best players in NFL history overall. But the Cowboys having a rough time. A lot of injuries, you know. Things are happening. These are
They're right there.
They're
yeah,
right
once
there.
They get
They're
everyone
right-
back.
The NFL is razor thin in the differences between each team. We will go around the NFL to try and prove that.
Stars scored a touchdown last night. Outscored the Cowboys.
In the first period.
Oh!
Are you the first guy that made that joke?
There's no way.
Yeah.
I think the Penguins goalie had trouble with the sun.
Hell yeah.
I hate us.
What? America? The world?
Sports Twitter trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Other teams making fun of the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
It's just everything sucks.
Looks like on today's program we have another edition of Jake's Jumper. The second day of mandatory NBA talk or Mavericks talk.
Jason Kidd said the F word a bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, did you have to beep it out?
Fuck no.
No, you didn't. Whoa.
Oh, that F word.
It looks like we're going to have a college football tribute to a dog.
Fuck it.
As I look through the run sheet.
A couple of us will be sending our best wishes and tribute. One of us might be celebrating.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
So these are the things happening. How will we know when Brandon Aubrey is ready? Okay.
Video Man says he'll wave at you. Or maybe put Soroy on the screen.
Okay, is he anticipate or is he just checking it at 12:15? What'd you tell him?
Yeah, I said 12:15.
What's our info?
He liked my text.
Oh, nice. Heart? He's
Wait.
hearted one of mine.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dang it, we aren't there yet.
Love the heart. Somebody yelled at me the other day, one of the guests for the Den, yelled at me on text because I would text the guests on how to get there and all that kind of stuff, what food to expect. Yelled at me because I didn't use the black fist bump to respond to one of their texts.
Yeah.
They were upset.
Maybe before last Tuesday, but now you want to let everybody know. Pride. Make sure you're on the right team.
Why can't I have pride? Why does everybody else get to
Oh
have
no,
pride?
it's time for you to have pride. It's you're fully emboldened to have your pride now.
You know, I want to just remind people, and you guys especially,
Mm-hmm.
that we're going to be doing a public appearance Saturday. We're going to do a show, kind of a pop-up show. It's going to be very, very loose, I think, the format. On Saturday, we're going to be at Globe Life Field from 9 to noon for a Baylor Scott and White men's health event. Like, we're men.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't know anything about our health, so they're there to, I don't know. They've got like some screenings. They got dude stuff like stadium tours and golf simulators. And in fact, you, Jake, can throw off a mound and get the radar gun on your throw. Jake is going to do that. Blake is going to do that. I'm going to see if I do it or not.
What's the
Come on.
determining factor? Just
I don't know. Let's just see if we get some people out there to implore me to do it. If not, I'm not going to do it.
I want you to show up with like an 80s style jacket with just one arm in.
It's very sad that I don't even know where my mitt is. As a man who used to keep his mitt in the trunk at all times just in case a game broke out. Like I would have my mitt, my cleats, and my bat in the trunk. Because if I happened upon a place where there was an adult baseball game, a men's, like a hardball game, I wanted to be able to go.
I respect that. I have cleats and my favorite pair of gloves in the back of my car right now.
Oh, okay. So you're still in the phase for
It worked out well for me before.
flag football, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're giving away prizes. They have a panel of physicians Q&A at 10 a.m. Now, we will attend that. They don't want us to, like, do our show during that. They're worried that there's going to be thousands of people sitting there watching our
Right.
show
Yeah.
and not over at the
These
panel of
learned
physicians.
medical doctors are just sitting there twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah, so
we're going to give them a lane to
free
spin their
food,
yards.
free breakfast, free parking, free entry, all that kind of stuff. Again, there's some different screenings available. And, for health stuff, I don't know. I don't know exactly what. I'm just going to guess. We'll screen you. We'll do the cough, turn your head, cough. We'll feel your sack just to see what it is. There a difference when it did you ever have that when you were a little kid?
Yeah, it's like a hernia cough.
Is that what it was? I never knew. I just
Yeah, I
know
think
some
so.
old guy.
Yeah.
We'd just be standing in a long line in the locker room.
Yep.
All half naked. And then we all had to do it, so I was like, okay, I'll do it. But it just seemed weird. Like, this is the only way that you can determine.
Is that
And they
still-
they never said,
Bad balls.
Yeah, no one ever got turned away like you can't play after this cough when I touched your sack.
Is that still a thing?
I think then at least in my lifetime, I would imagine you guys, since I'm older than you, they would.
I did.
They would put their hands above
everything,
and they could feel there somehow.
Because
but early days, it was I'm going to hold on to your sack, and it was just like, oh, turn your head, cough. Why turn my? Oh, because you're sitting in front of me, I guess. You don't want me to cough right in your face.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do that. I do recall, and I was somewhere. I think it was last time I went to the doctor's office and had my blood drawn. There was a girl who went into the office who was there for a physical and she said her high school. So maybe people get them done privately now. I don't know, but we just did it. We did it at the Coliseum, as we called it, where the basketball team played. But like my son has a hernia that I guess is just going to stay there.
He's like 2.
Yeah, I think he's had it since he was born or soon thereafter. And they're like, well, if it's not gone by the time he's 9 or 10, we'll have to operate on it.
Whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even really know what a hernia is. I do know that occasionally somebody would get their nuts like punched up into their body and they would have to kind of stand there and try to jostle them out. At the behest of our defensive line coach, look like Matt Foley.
What? What do you have to just push him back
It's
down?
kind of like you get up like kind of in a, like a squat type thing, and you're like, ugh, ugh, ugh.
What on earth? I've never heard this.
Yeah. I think it works.
I don't think I've ever had my nuts kicked in either.
And my kid loves to punch me in the dick.
Elsewhere in news today, as we prepare for Brandon Aubrey to join us, 87,000. We're down 0.97% right now, but Bitcoin. Yeah, is Bitcoin now going to fall? Like a free fall? Like it's, what do you do here?
Like I'm not.
Bitcoin is up to 87,000.
As you said yesterday,
I'm huge day.
Particularly interested in all of the election postscript analysis. It's never one thing. It's a million different things. It's one of the worst things about the political analysis. Well, probably really any sort of analysis.
That all these people that are analyzing what went wrong are also all the people that predicted it wrong.
Yeah. But also, I've just always...
The blue wave.
I've always been driven crazy by the reduction of, I think it's this and not that. Everything is everything all the time. So whether that's, is it McCarthy, Jerry, or Dak? It's just way too simplistic for me. However,
steroids or smaller ballparks.
Right,
or,
exactly.
Yeah.
However, I do know that the crypto community was pretty fired up for the big man.
Really?
Yeah.
Like he's better for crypto?
He's at least positioned it that way.
We're going forward with blockchain comp.
And him too. He's at least positioned it that way, so I'm not surprised. I mean, I read, those interviews where people are like, I'm a crypto bro, and Trump loves crypto. Now, could Trump explain to you what's happening there?
It's probably just like,
Does he trust it? No,
right,
of course.
Just like
he probably thinks it's lame.
About anything.
Yeah.
Go for it. Everything else that you're playing with.
Nobody laughs out loud at those drops more than Rob.
Yeah. It's a drop for Rob.
Let's see here. So, do you remember the story of Russell Okun getting dunked on?
Remind me.
The Panthers player.
Oh, the Bitcoin player? Yeah, okay. I didn't know if there was something. Yeah.
Well, he got dunked on because he took half his salary in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually that was the popular headline. If you look a little closer, it is he partnered with a Bitcoin company, and then he pledged to he would buy Bitcoin with half his salary. But he made $13 million in this contract. And then in the last couple years, there have been a few articles out there like laughing at the stupidity of Russell Okun because he turned his $6.5 million into whatever. It had fallen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now that $6.5 million today is $45 million.
Yeah, I don't
in 4 years.
I don't think you write that article. Like, how many times do you have to look at this chart? I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't obviously I don't own any now. But why would you even write that article? There's a pretty good chance you're going to look like a dumbass. And then maybe again he'll look like a dumbass. And then after that you'll look like a dumbass. Just don't write that this was dumb when it's at its nadir point. This is foolish.
Yeah, but most people, that's not the way to get ahead in this world. That's
No,
not the
it's
way
not.
to get engagement, is to be measured, and you must have a hardcore opinion. You must go all in on it, and then you must act like you never said it in the first place when something
key.
turns around, and then have another hardcore opinion and go all in on that. That is the way
Now,
to success.
I will say I am
That's my
very
hardcore
interested in the crypto trials and tribulations of one Scottie Pippen. You
What?
aware of this?
No.
Apparently, he's pretty into Bitcoin. And he predicted this current soar, not like 10 years ago or even a year ago, but in September. Scottie Pippen, who apparently has a Twitter account, tweeted, Satoshi Nakamoto, the believed creator of Bitcoin, visited me in my dream last night and predicted that Bitcoin would be at 84,650 on November 5th, 2024. Not financial advice. He tweeted that on September 3rd. And he got pretty much on the dot there. And then his last tweet on this matter, this is so funny. This one's from today, a couple hours ago. Bitcoin in 2024 is giving me flashbacks to the Bulls in 91, a dynasty just getting started. Get ready for what's next.
Okay.
Again, Scottie Pippen on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'm interested in what his dreams are. Have to get Julian here to analyze those.
Do you see LeBron's dream tweet over the weekend? Boy, that was great.
No. Was it that all men would be created
Yeah, no, he's like, I wrote this
was judged by the
57 years
content of
ago.
their character? Yeah.
There's no way he deleted it, right? Okay, yeah. So this is November 10th. This is 10 o'clock in the morning. Maybe Cali time, but we all know the king sleeps a lot. Oh God, this is painful to even read. Just woke up from having a dream I was playing for Duke for Coach K inside Cameron Indoor Stadium. It was insane in there. Told Coach K it was an honor to suit up for him, and he said the same thing back to me. He's such a legend. Then
he put in that
Coach K returned to the nice
responded with, it's an honor.
He's such a legend. Then it turned right into a concert. Snoop and Dre were the performers, and they was doing the song the next episode. The roof inside Cameron damn near came off. Ha ha. Then my alarm clock emoji went off, and I woke up.
Ah.
And like one of the first replies
Damn.
was like, "This guy lies about his dreams and tweets. Like none of this happened." God,
Was
he
Snoop
sucks.
honored that he was there? That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if Snoop and Dre.
Then Snoop let me rap. And
Yeah.
couldn't believe how
The
well
steel
I
toe.
did at it.
The steel
Hey.
toe.
Hey, ain't you the
It's a
man that
half-foot
created
kicker.
the deluxe album?
Okay.
It's a half-foot kicker.
What is that? Oh, he's here?
All right. It looks like we are ready to be joined for our weekly visit from the great Brandon Aubrey.
Hey.
Right here on DZTV.
Mhm.
Oh, hold on. Rob's busy laughing at his drop.
Do it again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my. Everything's going awesome.
I hear a little chuckle.
There he is,
Yes.
folks.
There
Yeah,
he
you
is.
hear me?
There
Brandon
he
Aubrey.
is.
How y'all doing?
Did you get a ring light?
Oh, my wife had one buried,
Yeah.
but yeah, I pulled it out.
Okay.
The shadows were driving me crazy last week.
You told us last week there was a ring light, and now you've done that. A bit, I don't know, serendipitous, I suppose, that we're starting off this interview talking about the glare and the shadows after
Oh,
the
no.
conversation coming out of the other day. That's never been a problem for you or for Anger, has it?
I think it would be more of an issue for Brian if we just hit the wrong part of the field and he'd have to look at the snap because he's kind of looking that way. But I'm staring straight down at the ground. So no, it's just I wouldn't be able to see it go in if we're on the wrong part of the field. But not an issue. I know where the uprights are based on where the hashes are, so I don't really need to see the ball.
How often, let's say you don't miss often, so this is going to be kind of a tough question, but do you know right away, good or bad, pretty much every time?
Yeah, I mean, there's balls that leave my feet that I'm like, that has no chance of going in practice. Luckily, those don't happen too often in the game. There's only been one instance or two, I guess, two instances of that where I hit it, and as soon as it left my foot, I'm like, that has no chance. And that was the first ever kick, the extra point, week one against the Giants last year in MetLife, and then the ball that got the Steelers. That one had no chance of going in, even if it didn't get blocked.
What was the? Well, I guess that Steelers game might be the worst weather you've ever been in.
Yeah, it calmed down after the delay, so we didn't really have much weather. The field was very damp and soft, so the planting was tough work. The foot was sliding a little bit and kind of digging into the ground and moving the ground. But I think the worst weather was probably Buffalo or New York my first year. That first game, it was torrential downpour, pretty windy. I was sick. I was fighting a cold or flu, whatever it was, COVID. Don't know. Didn't really get tested. Didn't want anyone to know what was going on. No excuses. Didn't want to get pulled out of that game. I was going to play no matter what. So that was probably the worst one for me weather-wise. Buffalo was just frigid and really windy, so that was not fun either. Buffalo in December is not fun.
Yeah, I would imagine. It's probably great to play where you play for you.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. There's big distractions being made about the sun, which can affect you every once in a while, but it's awesome in there. Nice air conditioned. They tried to open the doors, but I think there were some issues with the doors, so still haven't played with the door or roof open. So I can't complain. Anytime you're in an air conditioned indoor facility, it's good for kicking.
Yeah, others would say they don't want artificial turf. I would imagine you're the opposite.
Yeah, I love turf. It's very consistent. The linemen don't eat it up. So you don't have a hard time finding a good spot on turf. Sometimes, that Steelers game in particular, towards the end of that game, there weren't very many clean spots of ground in between the hashes to kick off of anymore. So luckily we got our long one off early in that game. So there were still some good patches of grass.
What do the specialists do at halftime? Like, we've heard people make a big deal out of halftime adjustments before, like really the media and commentators do.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk to players and they're like, it's not a ton of that. It's mostly just refuel, recharge.
Orange slices.
Or or we've come to learn about the is it the Uncrustable?
Yeah.
I think the Uncrustable.
Yeah.
There was an article about
What is that?
it's just a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you give your kids because there's no crust on them, and somebody did a big article on every team's consumption and ranked them.
Yeah, no, I saw that article you're talking about, or at least I saw the visualization of it on Instagram. So that's a crazy stat. I wouldn't think of that. I don't think we even have any Uncrustables in our practice facility, just on game days. I could be mistaken. I could just not know where they're at. But I have one on game days if I show up and I feel like I'm missing a little bit of juice in the tank. I'll have one before going out for warm up. But to answer your question on halftime, specialists, a lot of them go out and then we go straight into the locker room, just relieve ourselves and grab some food to charge back up, and then head right back out there. So there's no chatting with anyone, and then just start banging away balls to make sure we're not getting cold. If I'm kind of unique in that way, I don't like hitting too many balls, whether that's into the net at halftime and warm up. So if we just kicked a field goal, if we were just on offense and I was kicking a lot into the net prior to going in for halftime, I skip kicking at halftime. I just sit there and watch Brian and Trent get to work, and then just kind of enjoy whatever's going on at halftime, look around. But if we were on defense or I hadn't kicked in the net for a while, then I'll do a little warm up on the field again, kicking some balls. But I try to limit my reps.
So do you not have like a routine that you're superstitious about certain things, that you got to eat the same thing or whatever?
Maybe a little bit. There's some things I try to avoid, but I just kind of, whatever I'm feeling like. If I feel full going into the locker room before the game, there's no need to put anything in my body. There's some things like I know if I've made it all the way through halftime and I haven't really eaten anything on the sideline, then I'm going to force down one of those stinger chews. That's what I like, those little stinger waffle things. And then I'll take some salts just to make sure I'm not cramping, even if I'm not feeling like I'm going to cramp. I'm just going to get on top of it and make sure I'm over salted. I don't know if that's a proper term, but I just want to make sure there's no muscle fatigue issues. So get the sugar and salt back into the body before it becomes a problem.
Are you like a Zen guy or a
Like
Oh,
Young
no.
Wei?
skull?
No.
Does
no,
Koo do Zen?
Well, there's at least a video of him signing autographs at training camp, and somebody just hands over their pack of pouches, and he double lips it and keeps signing.
Yeah. That's not for me. Any of that stuff. No smoking, no tobacco, none of that stuff. I just straight coffee for me. That's all I need to get going.
What do the guys do in the NHL?
Smelling salts is what I was going to ask. You know,
Okay.
I don't know is that a kicker? Would a kicker or punter use that?
I know Brett Maher used to do those before running out to the field, and our kickoff team
Oh yeah.
will sit around and sniff them before going out. But no, maybe if I'm really dragging, I'll do one of those. But yeah, I usually have enough adrenaline going that I'm good to go.
What was that thing that Micah did last year?
It was
Or
yeah, it was a pre-workout that he just, and I think he even like raw dogged it and didn't even mix it with water.
yeah.
He just scooped the pre-workout powder and did a whole scoop and then
Yeah,
vomited. It makes
that's
you very
something I've never
dehydrated.
done.
You've never taken pre-workout at all?
Nope. Yeah, just coffee.
All
Coffee's
natural.
the drug of choice for me, I guess.
So I just thought of something when you were talking about the Uncrustables at work. You know, you make a good living, but it's not like you're a quarterback or a pass rusher. Would you ever consider maybe taking Tupperware to the Star? And, you know, they've got a free lunch for you out there. You just pack a little something up, maybe bring the kid home an Uncrustable.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You don't need the Tupperware. They have take-home boxes for you. They kind of encourage that thing
Okay.
Yeah. So we bring it home every once in a while. Right now, Jen is on a particular diet, so not a lot of that stuff fits into that mold. So just kind of trying to cook or get places we know don't have the allergens in it. Because, they cook great food, but you just don't know exactly what oil they cooked it in or if there's a little bit of dairy hidden around or whatever could be in that food. So with her breastfeeding, Colton's got kind of a sensitive stomach as is. So just trying to make sure we know what we're putting into her body right now.
So I imagine you have seen this. And in my mind, there's like a league-wide specialist group text where you guys just you're all talking to each other about the happenings on teams. But so what do you do if CD decides to come over and try to grab you by the throat like Deebo did to Jake Moody and the long snappers in the way? That was an ugly, ugly situation. But good news is he ended up making his fifth kick and won the game. But I was thinking about you, bud.
Yeah, I have no idea what I would do there. Obviously, that's just straight emotion. But having missed 3 kicks, you don't really have a whole lot of ground to stand on. You kind of just hope to get another opportunity and bank it through, and he did. Obviously, his long snapper standing up for him. You don't want anyone coming over to talk to your kicker, whether it's good or bad. Really, just don't want any voices in his head other than his own. He's got enough going on in his mind without your teammates adding stuff on. And yeah, I mean, Deebo is, that's, in my opinion, a disgusting thing to do. You really shouldn't be over there piling on. The kid's probably already feeling it, and he knows he's letting his team down. And he wants to win. He wants to make his kick. So just stay out of it. You shouldn't be crossing over. I'm not going to go over there and start shit talking to him if he drops a pass or he fumbles the ball. So just, it's ridiculous. That's not something a leader should be doing. And I don't know how I'd react, but it'd probably be more in line with the way the long snapper did, because that shouldn't be on the field.
How competitive do you get during these games? Because I believe it was on one of the fumbles. Banger was in one of the shots, and he gets visibly upset at the turnover. So are you kind of pacing on the sideline when the offense can't get it going? I guess how invested do you get during the game?
I actively try to dissociate myself from the outcome of the game. if I'm starting to get invested in it like that, then I stop focusing on me and just kind of what I need to do. I don't want to be focused on anything other than what I got to do. And it's kind of a letdown emotionally when we turn the ball over, especially when we're in field goal range. So I can see for Brian, once we get into field goal range, all he has to do is hold the ball, which is still difficult, but doesn't require the same mental focus as him punting the ball. So he kind of tunes out, or he's not focused on doing his job at that point. But for me, when we're there and the fumble happens, it's kind of a relieving feeling / disappointment all at the same time. It's just a rush of emotions, and that's the only point in time where I do have a moment to feel and react on those things, so I'm not going to be called on for a while. And yeah, it's frustrating. You want to win games. Obviously, it takes away an opportunity for me to make a field goal or an extra point as well. So it is frustrating, and we want to win games, and turning the ball over doesn't help us win the game. So natural reaction from Brian, and I try and limit that sort of reaction, but every once in a while it slips out.
What's the locker room like these days?
Focused, determined. We got our backs against the wall. We put ourselves in a pretty deep hole here, but everyone who plays sports has been here before. If you play long enough, you're going to be on a team that isn't performing the way we think and expect ourselves to. And I mean, Mike McCarthy has mentioned before his Super Bowl team started 3-6. He says so. There's a lot of football left in front of us. We just got to go out there and find a way to win a game. Win one game, then that's all that matters, and we can win the next one. And if you just keep doing that, then who knows? Just got to go out there and put good film, if nothing else, for yourself individually on tape. And if all the guys put good film on tape out there, we'll win the game. So we're focused. We know we have our backs against the wall. We got a lot of people talking crap about us that haven't been out there performing. It's easy to kind of talk crap when you're not out there performing. So we just want to go out there and prove that we're as good as we think we are, and we can win a football game in the NFL.
The actual physical layout of the locker room. What's that scene for? Like, I would imagine you and Brian Anger and the long snapper are kind of locker mates. Is that true, or you cross the room for each other, or what?
I'm across the room. They're next to each other. But when I came in last year, they put me in a locker by the offensive line, which is directly across. So I'm like kind of staring at them. But I'm with the O-line, and I guess kept that spot. There's only 2 lockers right next to each other where Brian and Trent are. So there's not even room for me over there if they want to put me over there. But when we're on the road, we're all 3 together. But at home, I'm just kind of like staring at them.
All sad. All sad, thinking
of your buddies.
Dejected.
Sad
I'll walk
songs.
over there with my helmet when it's time. When we're about ready to walk out, I'll walk over there with my phone and my helmet and whatever else I got, and just kind of sit next to them.
Do you participate in that NFLPA study, that survey that gets sent out every year? Have you done that?
Yeah. I think it's important, just like voting. Put your voice out and kind of give some feedback to the team on things you think they're doing an incredible job and they need to keep doing, and things that they can improve on. Without us giving them those feedbacks or that feedback, they have no idea what we want and what we want to see improved. So I think that's a really important part of our job, and really any jobs. Kind of, if you have an opportunity to get feedback, go ahead and get it.
Now, I assume you're only able to comment on your own team, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I just was wondering, I've only covered one road game before. I was going to say, like, what's the worst or most uncomfortable road locker room you've been in? Because I was in Washington.
Yes.
And the road locker room in Washington was worse than road locker rooms that I've seen in high school stadiums.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was. I mean, it was okay. So that is not normal. That's not normal.
That's not normal. No.
Okay.
There's a couple other stadiums that I've been in that are like that, but for the most part, like LA is really nice, and see what other ones were really nice.
Yeah, LA is brand new.
Yeah,
I would
that was
think
great.
maybe New York may be nicer. It's newer.
Not really. That one is like middle ground. It's nice enough. Like, I'm not going to complain about it, but yeah, Washington was bad, and if I remember correctly, Buffalo is pretty bad as well. It was freezing in there, not a lot of space, and yeah, just those two in particular stick out to me.
Do you keep up with Fighting Irish football at all these days? I know you said you never got to go to a game when you were up there, but they got an inside track to the playoff here.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. We watch their games whenever we get an opportunity to. So I've seen probably half the games this year. They're doing well. And obviously, I met the kickers and punters and long snappers over at the specialist camp in the off season. Kind of got to walk around the locker room and see everything for the first time. So that was really cool. So I'm definitely invested. Hope they make the playoffs and at least make it through a couple games there and hopefully get that national championship.
Have you ever had, because you are a football player, have you ever had a situation where you meet somebody, you're like, oh, I play for the Cowboys, yeah, I'm a kicker, I played at Notre Dame, and you feel the need to be like, but it's soccer, though? Like, you clear up to them, or do you just let it ride? Like, yeah, I played at Notre Dame.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it always comes with the territory. Usually when you're talking about that, you're talking with another football player or somebody who had something to do with football. And they're like, oh, did you know this guy? And then naturally, no, I played soccer. So, yeah.
Do you miss soccer?
No, I do not.
Why?
It was a lot more tiring, a lot less rewarding, I guess. And just, I've always been a football fan. I enjoyed playing soccer, don't get me wrong, but this is just way better. The job is 10 times better kicking footballs than it is playing soccer. Like I work on significantly less skills, and it's just easier to judge my performance. And I just feel like I was made to kick footballs more than play more than play soccer. It's just I feel like I can get into the swing of things way quicker and have immediate feedback on how I'm doing. My performance doesn't depend on anyone else. So I just enjoy kicking more than I did soccer.
Were you hardcore like travel teams when you were 8, all that kind of stuff? Because they identify talent pretty early around here.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't know if it was quite 8. I was definitely playing on 3 or 4 rec teams until one day I played the right spot against the right team, and parents like, you need to go play for Dallas Texans, and so went over and played with the Dallas Texans, and that was one of those super elite programs where you're traveling every other weekend. You got your home games here, and then you're going maybe Houston, Austin, San Antonio. We went to Colorado. We had a team in Oklahoma. There's teams all over the place, and yeah, we were traveling quite a bit and going every Christmas and Thanksgiving for showcases in front of college scouts. So my whole childhood was dedicated to soccer. So I definitely burned out of it. So that's why I don't really miss it and replaced that hole with football.
Did you ever get to play at Disney World?
Every Christmas.
For real? Yeah, because I knew somebody that did that once. So that was the deal,
yes.
Huh?
That's Disney Cup. That's one of the premier showcases for college scouts. They're pretty much always there. And the way it works, they divide it up. The older kids will go during Christmas and the younger kids go during Thanksgiving. So I had an older brother who was 3 years older who did the same exact travel team set up. So there were like 4 or 5 years there where we were going to Christmas and Thanksgiving. So we were very happy to be done with those Disney trips because my family would drive from here to Orlando every year.
Man,
the driving seems like a beating. I can't remember if my family drove there or not when we went, but I feel like as a little kid, that's got to be cool.
Yeah, no, it was very cool when I was pretty young. I hate roller coasters personally. So I did Epcot with my mom, and my brother would go to Universal Studios with my dad. I tried Universal Studios, but they couldn't force me onto the ride, so they figured they were just wasting their money on tickets to bring me in. So eventually they stopped doing it, which smart on them. But yeah, I hated roller coasters, so theme parks aren't really my thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I am a little bit worried about the first time my son asked me to go on with him, and I'm like, son, I'm soft. I don't really do that. Yeah.
But you could stand in line with him for 2 hours. That's fun.
I'd honestly rather do that than go on a roller coaster.
The line ride, I completely agree. But they tried to trick me onto, I think it was like a Spider-Man ride or something like that. But there were signs all over the line saying this is a roller coaster. If you're pregnant, do not get on it. All these things, and my brother and dad were trying to convince me that it was just like one of those moving rides where you sit down and very slowly takes you through a movie, I guess. And my mom was buying it, and so they were forcing me on. I'm like, I'm not going. This is a roller coaster. Look at this sign. My mom wouldn't look. It was ridiculous. They got me to go on it, and it starts off with a nice slow moving, and then it shoots you backwards, and I whiplash immediately. I'm screaming. Ruined it even more for me. I would not go on roller coasters unless, I guess, maybe Colton kind of suckers me into one.
Yeah, no, I like this. It's for Brandon. For me, it's if pregnant women can't ride, we can't either.
Yeah, exactly.
So support them.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
My last thing is a comment on the news of the day. I guess I just want to know: are you into Bitcoin at all?
I had a Coinbase account back when I was in software engineering, and I was buying it like $100 every other week or something like that. So I lost my account information.
No,
but I found it recently.
Okay,
with all this, it's surging. So yeah, I've got a little bit of Bitcoin. Not a lot, but I got enough.
Okay, yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Sure, yeah.
To the moon.
Yeah, you got to go find it now for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you next week. Good luck Monday.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
All right. See you, bud.
There he goes, the great Brandon Aubrey.
Later.
Do you think it would be, I guess time has passed for you. I wonder if you were thinking about this whenever your daughters were younger. Although you did get a pretty serious taste of sports with softball and the involvement there. But like right now, if I had to choose, kid gets so good at soccer or baseball, the two beating sports for travel, that he's doing that all the time, or he just doesn't play at all. Which one would I choose? The middle ground is like they play in rec leagues and they're like kind of fine. They do it some.
I mean, it was very fun.
Maybe you didn't get all the way to the beating point though. You were doing a lot. You were doing more than just a regular thing. We
would have weekend tournaments, from you're getting up at 6 on Saturday and heading out somewhere, and then I didn't do it like that level, traveling to Colorado or other states.
But you also weren't just playing in your city.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't.
It was all around the Metroplex.
It's one of those things where you probably hate it while you're doing it, but when you look back on it, you miss it.
No, I didn't hate it when I was doing it at all.
Okay.
I really didn't.
I mean,
but I was also the coach. So I didn't like having to go see her play when I had no involvement in it.
Well, it's because you knew you could do better.
Well, for sure. But it's just a long, boring day.
Yeah.
Because I can wait then another 2 hours till I see her have one at bat, and then another half hour, and she'll get another one, and all that kind of stuff. And
bring a book, right?
Outdoor. Well, you could, yeah, I suppose. Outdoors, beating.
Yeah.
Like I had a softball. One of my buddy's parent whose daughter quit the team, and then she went and played volleyball. And he'd be texting me 3:00 on a Saturday, like, you know what? I've been here all day, but I'm inside, and it's great. So I would try to steer your son towards an indoor sport. What is that? There probably isn't one.
Well, there's a lot, yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, basketball, but
basketball, hockey,
okay,
gymnastics. Blake,
sure.
Hockey seems like it'd be pretty cold though.
It's I love it. That would be so cool if he got into that.
Do you plan to coach?
I don't know if I can coach hockey.
No, I just mean, well, I didn't know if I could. I coached soccer just because no one else would.
Yeah, I don't know. I would,
and we got drilled.
I could see myself doing that, but I don't know. I feel like we're in a weird position where I don't really want another dad who's mad about something to hit me with a sports guy.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
And I don't need that.
That's part of it. What are you gonna do though? And then it looks good, Oh, look how much he cares about his kids.
You can get in a dad magazine.
That's right.
Then you got to schedule
Southwest
practice and
go pick up your ringer.
Yeah, you drive to West Fort Worth.
Look, she was a hell of a pitcher.
Yeah, I bet.
At that age, you just have to be able to put it over the plate. Anyway, we got around the NFL. We got college football. We got basketball.
You pick.
Me pick?
Yeah.
Well, I prepped
Well,
around the
you know what,
NFL, and I don't want to.
Let's start with the
take away from what
let's
you
start
guys
with
do.
Cowboy cleanup, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Then we'll get to what we can today. Let's let Blake
Just like
go
my
first.
wife. So I ask her, "What do you want for dinner?" She says, "You pick," and then she ends up picking.
That's right.
I just do the advertising. You do
All
the
right.
pick.
Well, Blake's gonna go first here.
All right. Jerry was on the fan this morning, and the question of the day, of course, is the sun. McCarthy's press conference. I don't know if you saw this or not, but they had a shade blocking the sun.
Yeah.
McCarthy press conference.
At the start.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
it
he
was
walks-
like a horrible glare on McCarthy that was messing up the photos in the video.
So they put a nice little sunscreen right there.
It's too much, dude.
Did they bring that up to him?
It was he walked in and said, "Oh, what's this?"
Yeah. I started laughing.
And then they had their yeah.
The
Anyway.
show's getting too good.
Yeah. So Jerry was asked about it, and in Jerry fashion, it's not about the game. Okay, putting up a curtain would ruin the aesthetic of that stadium he's got.
Of all of the things that we all need to improve, that is way down the list of improvement. All I can say is that stadium was built to feel like it's outdoors when you're indoors. And it was built to have sunlight coming in every way that you could put it out there as though it were open air, yet still being inside. It's the largest air-conditioned space in the world, the stadium. It has over 3 million cubic feet of air-conditioned space. My biggest thought when we were building it was, don't have it not look like it's outdoors. Make it look like it's outdoors. And so all of the things that are a part of that out there is a concept as though you were sitting out there with no roof, no doors, no anything, and you're playing in the elements.
Why do we have to add $1 billion to make it a retractable roof then?
Yeah.
Doesn't it cost a lot more to have that?
It probably does, yeah. Well, no, it does. Yeah, I don't know. Part of the problem, too, is that by trying to do the middle ground of outside-inside, the glare is worse. Like, if you just let the sun in, it wouldn't be like that.
But he wants his stadium to look a particular way, and he doesn't care if CD can't see the ball.
Also, I've been there quite a few times. I've never felt like I was outside. Right?
No.
Well, he said he wants it to look like that.
Oh, I thought he said feel too.
Has he? Okay, maybe.
Maybe not, but still,
If you're watching it
that's
on
a weird
TV,
goal.
does it look like that? And
But again, he also never addressed.
Like, would you still watch the game on TV if it looked like it was indoor?
I think I probably would, yeah. And he never addressed how it impacts the football on the field in a game.
Because
also that's
only been negative.
Yeah.
There's been no positive. Like, in fact, somehow the other team doesn't seem to ever get this.
So he gets into that as far as he feels like that should be a home field advantage. And we're going to check another box here.
That's what you said Sunday. And in a sense, he's right.
It always seems to happen to the Cowboys.
Yes.
And that could just be our fandom.
Right.
But I recall Michael Gallup losing a ball.
Yeah, I never remember another team losing a game and saying, oh, man.
No.
They really got to fix that. Never.
In fact, we said it before the Eagles drive before halftime. Like, look, they're driving into the sun, and then they score in 4 plays. Like, it never seems to affect the other team.
By the way, also, a buddy of mine pointed this out when we were doing the game. It's not just the guy who loses the ball in the lights. When Cooper Rush was facing it a couple times, he either took a sack or threw the ball away because of the glare. That doesn't show up on the stat sheet or, made into a highlight. But it was obvious that a guy who already pretty much doesn't seem to have an idea where his receivers are going to be, it made that worse.
Like, do you think – because there's always talk about how you could have just turned the stadium, and then that wouldn't be a factor. Do you think they put the stadium there on purpose because they knew the sun?
Yes, he wants the sun coming in.
He likes that beautiful TV shot.
Oh, whatever he said, he wants the sun coming in as many ways as possible. So their question was about, does McCarthy game plan for the sun, which to me is kind of ridiculous. How would you do that?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't have a whole game plan, but you would say at this, like
I
Dan
can't
said,
call this play because of the sun?
Yeah.
That seems insane.
well, you're going to have to
Seems insane,
do it.
but it's the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
That from this time to this time,
I mean,
this part of the field.
if they still had let's say the Cowboys were the only team for some reason because they're real old school, they had the goalpost at the goal line. Would you call plays that called for someone to run into the goal, or would you say this is
You're
just, it's not optimal. You would like them not to have to do that, but they do.
You're right. It's just such a small window of between the, I don't know. In the
And
second
as
third
Jerry
quarter,
would
we
say,
can't
the
call
other
this play.
team has to deal with that as well. And if they don't play here 8 times a year, maybe that other team shouldn't have the advantage on you.
Well, he wants the sun to be the Cowboys' home field advantage.
I've seen balls caught with the receiver looking back into the sun out there.
It is possible.
I've seen balls dropped.
Anecdotal.
I saw Jason Witten drop a ball.
He was
but
good.
I'm sure seeing a lot of opposing teams drop some balls too. And so it's a part of it. One of the things that I'm emphasizing here is that we know that whether it's snow, rain, sleet, mud, we know that elements play a part of football. You play the game in the elements as long as it's safe for everybody concerned. And so you play it in the elements. This is our stadium's way of having elements. And we should play to that when it's appropriate. And we should win out because it is our home field. It's where an advantage. Our Texas Stadium used to have the field went lower on the outside near the boundaries, and in the end zones, it had a drop-off. There was 18-inch difference from the crest of the field to the outside of the field. Well, we got to where our players and quarterbacks and receivers knew that 18-inch drop-off was there, so you threw the ball accordingly, ran the route accordingly. Visiting teams, forget about it, weren't used to adjusting on it, and we made that an advantage. It's so common in sports to have an advantage with your field.
Hell yeah.
Or have an element of your field that can be a disadvantage, but because you're familiar with it, you have an advantage. I don't want to change that.
I love this.
Yeah,
I love it. I think he loves it because keeping the sun talk going right now, you're not really looking at the team. And I don't know if Jerry is this savvy, but think about it. That, you know how the Cowboys are always right up there with the Yankees or the Lakers or whatever on the ESPN talking shows? Always. They're about to not be at all because it's just not going to be relevant. You're not going to want to talk about Cooper Rush or maybe you'll get a little Cooper Rush or Trey Lance for a week or two. But then as their record fades, there's just going to be no reason to bring them up in general. That's why he kind of loved being 8-8, 9-7. You know, if you're right on the bubble every year, you're always talking about it. How can they get that next step? He almost doesn't mind losing in the playoffs because it's how do you get that next?
Well,
now,
be honest,
like sun talk is the most interesting thing you can talk about.
That's the only reason that I somewhat think there's still about a 1% chance that he fires McCarthy before the end of the year because he knows he's not coming back. But if he fires him in like 2 weeks,
that will be a huge
is all
talk.
anybody's going to talk about for at least a couple weeks. And now he stays in the cycle.
Who's going to be the coach? Yeah.
So we go now to Micah.
But real quick.
Oh, yeah.
That's another 90s cow. This is the way we did it 30 years ago, and it worked back then, and it should work now.
By the way, I never knew how that was legal. I heard that my whole life, and that like Troy mastered it, and that even Brett Favre figured it out.
I thought they did it. The old Texas Stadium was for drainage, right?
Well, because of the hole in the.
But how high could you make it and it be legal?
Well, a lot of those grass fields used to be crowned.
I know. I've stood on a field where I've looked over and you can tell there's a slope. But I mean, I'm sure there are rules and regs, but it's not like you could make it 3 feet tall. 18 inches is a lot. A foot and a half. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the mound is about that, right? Or is it higher than that?
The mound is taller than a foot and a half, but I can't recall.
It just feels.
They shortened it.
They did.
Back in 1968 or whatever. Yeah, they lowered the mound.
I don't know, but you're right. It is another 90s Cowboys reference.
Actually, I have no idea.
Did he say? Did you hear anything about Kellen Moore?
Yeah, about how Kellen used to game plan for it.
Yeah, Kellen knows where the sun is. Or
Oh,
something.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just very typical Jerry of like, hey, Jerry, are you down? And then he begins the interview with saying, well, my sister is sick, and, I'm looking at her, and, how are you getting through these days of being sick? And she's like, well, I try to think of someone who has it worse than I do.
Philosophical Jerry, I like
So
it.
then Jerry goes and says, I saw those veterans, and I thought, man, I got it better than them.
Yeah, I like that.
It's just he is so wheels off.
Mound is 10 inches.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying is that having recently and only very recently actually thrown from a mound, that feels like you're way up there to me. So for that to be 18 inches, that's a lot. Anyways, Micah, the bulk of Micah's podcast this week was, of course, about his Mike McCarthy, Zach Martin comments. But he also had to weigh in on the glare.
People were talking about the sun glare in the stadium. At the end of the day, it is what it is. Sometimes it's glare when we play, outside. It is what it is. I understand it was just that moment for CD, but, other teams feel that effect too. I think it's just a neutral thing. I understand we can control it. Everyone's going to have their opinion on it, but, it's one of them things that it is what it is. Obviously, if ownership won't change it, it's something that we have to deal with it. We have to understand that, there will be a glare at some point in the game. It's just one of the things. It is what it is. Obviously, as a defensive player, I don't really, reap any, bad benefits from it. So I don't understand it from their perspective. So, it's just like that.
I mean, obviously, the phrase that pays is like, well, if ownership's not going to do anything about it, then I guess we're just there.
Which is?
Yeah, pretty much true.
A logical, what do they teach you in therapy, right? You concerned,
Accept
be
the
concerned
things
with
you cannot change.
what you can change, yeah.
So he spent the first 14 minutes of his show talking about the response to his comments about Mike McCarthy and Zach Martin. And I do believe him that what he meant to say was how bad it hurts to not be able to have more success with the guys that he respects and loves so much, in this case, Zach Martin. He talks a lot about how much Zach Martin has meant to him early in his career, teaching him how to be a pro. He mentions DeMarcus Lawrence. He mentions Tyron Smith, and just saying those are the guys that I see not be able to walk during the week. They get shot up with Toradol, and they go out there and play at a super high level. I see them bleeding. And he was trying to express, as anybody who's played sports does, like, you sometimes want it for the people around you more than you want it for yourself. That's what makes it cool. But he then decided to take an extra step and say, like, he's worked harder than Mike McCarthy ever has, or he's worked more hours than Mike McCarthy ever has. Even if you said the first part, which was McCarthy can go and coach anywhere else. I don't think anybody would have been mad about that.
Right, because it's like he's got a long career.
Right.
This guy's career is almost over.
And so he spends all this 12, 13, 14 minutes talking about, hey, I went and talked to McCarthy. I apologize if it came off wrong. He does a lot of sorry if people took it the wrong way. He does a lot of here's what I actually meant.
See, him saying that, I still don't believe he would have ever said that about Dan Quinn.
I agree.
Because he loved Dan Quinn.
He somewhat mentions Dan Quinn.
He might still love Dan Quinn.
Yeah. In his diatribe here, or maybe diatribe is the wrong word, but he spends 12 minutes explaining why he didn't mean that and why the media is at fault for constantly taking the things that players say and twisting them around and taking them out of context, which really didn't happen. People just played the quote.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he might have not have communicated it the way that he wanted it to land, but that's not really on the media.
No, when I read it, I didn't think it sounded as bad as when I heard it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That
which is
never,
the opposite of
forever. Yeah. But what really gets him is when former players and coaches, you've heard him rail against this before, when analysts who are in the media, who are guys who played the game or coached the game or both, when they start going in on players, that's when Micah turns into full union man and is doing the, why would they want to tear anybody down? Like, we're all in this brotherhood together. Why wouldn't you just want to build people up? Because most of what he does on his podcast is just talking about the players that he thinks are awesome. Like this week he spent 10 minutes on Lamar and 5 minutes on Justin Herbert. Like that's just what he does. He doesn't really criticize anybody. Now, by exclusion, sometimes he criticizes people because he named 10 quarterbacks that are great before he got to Dak. But mostly it's just talking about how everybody's great and why would these players go on TV and do that. So much so that if you're wondering if he hears the noise, he's actually going to devote several minutes of his podcast here listening to and responding to ESPN's Get Up.
It honestly hurts me to read these clippings of Rex Ryan and Damian Woody, and we're going to pull them up because it just honestly is infuriating. So let's pull up this clip from Rex Ryan.
Doesn't deserve that. Mike McCarthy, no coach deserves that because
audio.
the hours,
and
trust me,
video.
my friend, the hours this guy's putting in, no player is putting in the work that a head coach is, I can assure you. And look, you can have some private issue, all right? Go to the owner, go to whoever, go to Mike McCarthy. But why the hell do you think you need to say that why do you need to hurt this man? Who do you think gets blamed for everything? He gets it anyway. And so why are you piling on? All right, yeah, dead man walking. Yeah, he is. But you know what? He's professional as hell. He hadn't once blamed a damn player, ever. It's bullshit.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, and I'm not the least bit uncomfortable with you using that word because that is exactly what it actually is.
Okay, obviously I had to leave Mike Greenberg in there
Him
because
defending.
that is the stiffest, most robotic response. I accept the fact that you used a curse word and bullshit because that is exactly what you
Now,
were
usually
describing
I would
here.
be taken aback. And,
Right, but in
appalled.
this particular case, Mr. Rex Ryan, I just want to note that I am okay with the usage of this language. Like, what a dork. So Damian Woody goes in. He doesn't curse, but he goes in as well. He mentions like, hey, you've been hurt. So mighty rich of you to come in here and all of a sudden have all these complaints and go after a coach. And I kind of agree with Micah. He didn't want to be hurt. I don't think Micah's not playing because he didn't want to be out there. I mean, when he got hurt, they were very much still in it. That did not sit well with Micah. And our second clip here, he's going to address that. And we'll also play a game called Does Micah Parsons Know the Name of the Cowboys defensive coordinator?
So never once did I ever intended or wanted to reflect on Mike McCarthy's career because I always knew it was a good one. I've always had a great relationship with Mike McCarthy, and I never even put that in question. And for a guy like Rex Ryan, I just know he wanted to coach the Cowboys. Like, I'm perfectly happy that we have Zimmerman because if we have a guy that's willing to go on TV and provide this type of
Like, I get it. Sometimes you have like a Mike McDaniel, Josh McDaniels. Like, there's a weird, right? Like, you flip those around either way. But we're pretty far into it here. And he's just – I'm glad we have Zimmerman.
Mike McCarthy under the bus. Like I said, he's one of the most winningest coach. He is a Super Bowl.
Oh, sorry, I went too far.
Like, that's just honestly just outrageous to me at the end of the day. Like I said, man, when you play football –
okay, we don't need to play anymore. But he goes on and on and on about it. If you played the game, you know. And here's the thing. If you're Mike Leslie, then you get hit with the you didn't play the game. You don't know what you're talking about. And now the guys who played and coached the game at a very high level are like, this is not good. He's like, you shouldn't do that if you like. So what he needs is for only players to talk about him or the team, and also to only say positive things.
Well, yeah, him and Trayvon said just as much last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Cowboys media should be protecting the players.
It's their job.
Yeah.
I thought that was good stuff.
A lot of this stuff is predictable, too. Like Rex Ryan, yes, you have an ex-coach, a thing involving a coach and a player. Who's he going to side with? You know, when
Well, yeah.
Rick Carlisle would do that if something, you know, a coach would get fired across the league. He'd say, that's a travesty. That guy shouldn't. Richard Sherman, have you seen him talking about Deebo? Kind of on board with Deebo. Like, yeah, because he's a position player who has been pissed at this tiny little kicker who has missed a bunch of kicks.
Foreign guy.
When all he has to do
Well,
is one
all these
easy
guys are
thing, easy in air quotes, but still, you know, that's all he works on all.
That's at least the way that Deebo or Richard Sherman see it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So Richard Sherman gets out there publicly, and he's going to support Deebo. Like, yeah, you got got to pump them up.
And kind of that's what Micah was trying to do, although completely unprompted. Like there wasn't a preceding event that he was asked about. He just said, hey, when asked about is Mike McCarthy the coach next year, what do you think about that? Took that as a chance to say, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about Zach Martin on down the line. But, hey, look, this is awesome. This is the season. This is just the every week drama that is this.
I was thinking we need to put together a timeline of this season.
It's halfway.
Because, I mean, we could go calendar year if you want with the contracts that were or were not done, the Zeke signing, the article just recently about the tours.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to ask Brandon about that. We're going to have plenty of time to fill.
That's right. We'll talk to Brandon Aubrey next Tuesday.
So we can either slide into other NFL right now, or we can take a break.
Yeah, let's do some other NFL. I don't want to do. The problem is I have a lot of this, but I don't want to do too much of it and take up everybody's time with all the other bits we have.
I want you to feel fulfilled, bud.
Well,
first things first.
I am interested in the NFL.
Solid Kyler call the other day on your pick.
Yeah.
Maybe playing the best football of his career right now.
Oh, thanks. Hey, thanks, guys.
Did you see that Call of Duty graphic?
You know who was on Kyler before anyone.
Yeah, technically you.
He
technically
sponsored his team when he was 8 years old. Yeah, so they destroy the Jets. The highly overrated Jets, obviously, right now. And then
I don't even know if they were that overrated.
Heading into the season.
I personally don't think I ever thought they'd be good.
Okay, well, the national media did not agree with you. They were kind of considered great defense. All they are is a quarterback away. Okay, so let's ask a question about this last game that they played against Arizona. How is Aaron Rodgers like Cooper Rush? The answer is that he completed one pass that traveled at least 10 air yards.
Damn.
On Sunday. The Jets' defense also maybe not that great. They allowed 4 70-yard drives or more. And then adding Aaron Rodgers. Last year they had Zach Wilson, Trevor Siemian, and Tim Boyle take all their snaps. They averaged 16.5 points per game. This year they're averaging 18.5. Actually less. The percentage is a little different. So they're averaging actually less than 2 points more per game this year by adding Aaron Rodgers. Got to remember, Aaron Rodgers is 40. Not every 40-year-old is Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely got him paid, right?
It didn't hurt.
And, I mean, he's got a pretty significant dead cap number next year also, Aaron Rodgers.
Elsewhere in the NFC East, the Giants started our day on Sunday in Germany. They were favored by like 5, I think. And they lose to Carolina in overtime on a game-winning field goal. Right now they are 2-8. And they're heading into their bye week. Will Brian Daboll come out of it? Daniel Jones might be benched for the rest of the year because he has an injury guarantee in his contract. Remember Derek Carr a few years ago?
Oh, yeah.
With the Raiders? So they kind of just said, you know what? We want to make sure you don't get injured these last few games to kick in more money for next year. So what if we just bench you? Now, Derek Carr had enough skins on the wall that he could kind of demand that he doesn't even want to be there in the building, and they just let him leave. I don't know that Daniel Jones has that, but he may have taken his last snap for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap if they bail, but I guess go for it. They're not. I was about to say everybody says it's a bad quarterback draft, but maybe they just say that at this time, great or bad, and it just shakes out to all be roughly the same. I don't know, but obviously they need a quarterback badly. Dallas will not take a quarterback, but you know what's going to happen to New York though? They're going to have a similar situation to what Dallas had with Romo and Dak, where they're going to draft a quarterback in the top 5, And they're still going to be paying Daniel Jones $23 million a year for the next 2 seasons, and also not paying their quarterback $600,000 like Dallas was paying Dak. It'll be a top 5 pick. Really, really bad decision to give Daniel Jones that contract. I know I took the L on that one, saying it would never happen. I didn't think it would.
We were watching the end of the Washington game, Pat, as we were getting ready for the Cowboy game, and you saw how that ended with a rookie jumped off sides where it was like 4th and 1 at midfield, and the Steelers, it's Mike Tomlin. There's no way they were about to snap that ball.
No.
And I think Russell Wilson's, jumping around and cheering afterwards kind of showed that. Like, yeah, I
can't believe
you guys fell for this. Anyway, the Steelers are kind of amazing. Mike Tomlin, this week they were coming off a bye. He's now won 8 straight games when he's coming off a bye. They're now 3-0 since Russell Wilson was named starter. He has a 25-6 career record against rookie quarterbacks. Apparently, they kind of treated Jaden Daniels like they treat Lamar Jackson. They're very well-versed in how to play Lamar Jackson. They shut him down to 16 yards in the fourth quarter, Cliff and the Washingtons. And then I just wanted to point out that Mike Williams is a receiver they just acquired.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just see if this all seems familiar. Look, they paid a 5th-round pick for him. They got him 5 days ago, or 5 days prior to the game. And he scored the go-ahead touchdown with a couple minutes left.
Great.
So
Great.
you can trade.
Jonathan Mingo's under contract for 2 more years.
Okay, plenty of time. I guess that's a storyline, right? We're going to see Jonathan Mingo this week.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super stoked.
Fun.
No, I'm very confused and I guess kind of happy for the Steelers. I have no ill will towards the Steelers. I just don't like Russell Wilson. But this offense they've created where 5-6 times a game he just throws the ball as far and high as he can, and that's
his bit.
Kind of seems to be the whole offense. Which
the deep ball.
Yeah. And everybody was giving them heat when they benched Fields, somewhat, I would say, me included. And that first game, Russ threw a couple passes that were hilariously bad, and really since then he's been cooking.
Steelers have a tough part of their schedule, I think, coming up, though. Let's take a look at that to confirm. They're 7-2. They sit high atop the AFC Central or whatever. What do we call that now?
North,
yeah. Sorry. You know I'd get to it. They got the Ravens. Well, I should take it back. They have tough games left on their schedule. But they got the Ravens, then you got the Browns, Bengals, Browns.
Yeah, so I mean they
Bengals
could pretty
always
easily
scary,
be 10-3.
Then they got the Eagles, Ravens again, Chiefs, and Bengals. So that's not Anyway, they're going to make the playoffs.
You'd have to think.
Elsewhere, is Caleb Williams good? He's had a couple rough weeks in a row. Sacked 9 times Sunday, loses to the lowly Patriots 19-3. They've gone 23 straight drives without scoring a touchdown, averaging 2.5 yards per play. Something to keep an eye on. That was Drake May versus Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know what to make of the Chicago situation. It's pretty clear that they're going to fire their coach.
Yeah,
and his defense
despite the beard
hasn't been bad except for really weird key situations like the Hail Mary against Washington. But I don't know. It just seems that they're offensively quarterback cursed. No matter who the coach is, it just doesn't seem to matter.
Buffalo beat Indianapolis 30-20. I only mention this so we can mention Joe Flacco became the second player in the past 5 years to throw a pick six on his team's first play of the game. Joining,
I was going to say,
it was last year on the first play of a game, Deshaun Watson
threw
a pick six.
I should have remembered that.
And there was a funny moment when
I think he threw a pick on the second drive also. It just didn't get returned.
Yes, he became the first player this year to throw an interception on each of his team's first 2 drives.
Get it out of the way early.
Yeah. But there was a somewhat humorous moment on the TV when they were talking about the fact that Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year last year. But look over here, it's Damar Hamlin who lived and stuff.
Well, Damar Hamlin has played 98% of the snaps this year, and we talked to Joe Flacco on Friday about winning the Comeback Player of the Year award last year, and look, we all can agree we think it should have been Damar Hamlin. In fact, they changed the criteria this year so that it'll be given to someone who shows resilience coming back from injury or illness. But Joe Flacco even said, I should not have won the award. It should have gone to Damar Hamlin. Flacco lost the football. Had it knocked away, and the Bills have it. Damar Hamlin.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
Damar Hamlin recovered the fumble.
That's awesome. I love everything about that. So I guess they had to change. I was thinking change the criteria, but so now you have to have been hurt. Right? You can't just be
not just you had sucked.
Yeah, or you were benched or whatever, and then you came back. Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. But it would have been way funnier, and they wouldn't have used the anecdote had this occurred, but it would have been way funnier if Flacco was like, no, dude, I mean, I led the team to the playoffs.
He did. It was very amazing.
Voters, bro.
Damar Hamlin just was
he's
there.
Alive? Okay, well, he was alive before.
Yeah.
So, don't know what to tell you.
You see the end of that Kansas City-Denver game?
I did.
The blocked field goal at the end somehow keeps Kansas City's perfect season alive. They're 9-0.
Yeah, everybody keeps posting, and it's one of my favorite memes of just the Jesse Pinkman. They can't keep getting away with this.
7-0 in one-score games.
It's ridiculous, dude.
And they've trailed at some point in the second half of every game this year, and they end up winning. New Orleans, the team we thought was headed to the playoffs, perhaps the Super Bowl, after they played the Cowboys, won their 3rd game of the season. Remember, when they played the Cowboys in Week 2, that was their 2nd win of the season. And then they lost every game. They fired their coach. They named Darren Rizzi. I like just learning about people. I've never heard of Darren Rizzi before.
I had not before.
And after their victory over the Falcons, where Bijan, he's great.
Yeah.
That's a luxury.
They've figured that thing out.
He had 2 touchdowns, 116 yards. Anyway, after they won, Rizzi said that he clogged the toilet in the coach's locker room earlier that morning. And this is what he told the media, and I thought, this is going to be a crappy day, pun intended. Turns out it wasn't.
That's hilarious.
But it's kind of an odd thing to mention to the media.
Yeah, I don't.
That I clogged the toilet.
I don't get it at all. I did see, you may want this for betting purposes, the game after firing and then interim head coach, those teams have a ridiculously good record.
The new coach theory?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it lasts. I haven't seen the numbers beyond the first game, but it was pretty significant.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on the Giants perhaps when they come back. If they fire their coach, that new coach's first game would be...
It would be Dallas, right?
Against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day.
Lowest rated Thanksgiving Day Cowboy game ever?
I don't know. I still think, was this weekend a low-rated game?
Don't know.
Still think the Cowboys get eyeballs.
Okay,
And it's Thanksgiving. You're the only thing on.
Yeah, no, I'm comparing it to, I'm saying to other Thanksgiving Day games that they've played in. It'll be Cooper Rush. They'll be 3-7?
Yeah.
At that point, yeah. So,
oh, wait.
What the hell was that? You got a robot phone going off over there?
My parking timer.
Oh, shoot. I need to do that, too.
Yeah, we'll stop here in a minute. We had to park on the street today. That's where we come from, Jake, the streets. San Francisco beat Tampa Bay. We've already talked about the Deebo Samuel situation with Jake Moody. And Tampa Bay has lost 4 straight games. Right now, no one believes in Baker Mayfield. I do, buddy. Where is he? Oh, there he is.
There. He's got a bye week to prepare.
By the way, it's our first day. We're doing a show in the studio with and Rob. I really like how you set this up
With the
Bucky P.
the Bucky P.
I didn't notice
Because
that.
I had it set up the other day, but this is way better. Video man.
Oh,
Video man is thinking about the shot at all times.
I know we briefly talked about this, but the Vikings suck. I don't know if you have any Vikings talk in you.
No, I do. The note I had on that game was their time of possession was just like Dave Barnett told us Army versus UNT. 42-19 to 17-41. They had 42 minutes time of possession against Jacksonville. And yes, they could not score touchdowns in the red zone, but they did hit 4 field goals. That's how they won.
He's been living
On the guy's name is Romo.
That's right.
The new
John
kicker.
Parker Romo.
Yeah.
He's been living pretty dangerously all year, and I don't know.
Darnold?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's come back to earth.
Yeah. It looks that way.
But they got to play Mac Jones.
Who?
And the Jaguars were able to account for 143 yards of offense all game. So, yeah, maybe what's his name will get another job, the defensive coordinator that you were talking about the other day.
Bryflo.
Yeah.
That didn't really work, did it? Bryflo.
Let's just let's workshop it.
Okay.
Just quickly, Chargers beat Tennessee. They now have more wins.
Herbert's balling, dude.
They now have more wins than they did last year.
Balling. J.K. Dobbins, low-key.
Now, they've only
Useful
beaten one
and unaborted.
playoff team from last season, and it was the Browns. They still got Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Kansas City on their schedule, so we'll see how they do. You did Arizona already, right? Yeah. And 2 more. We got Baltimore, Cincinnati, as Lamar Jackson is probably taking that MVP again. It's only halfway through the season, so I guess things can happen.
That was a heck of a game. That was the reverse Baltimore, right?
Yeah, they were down
That was a fun
double
one.
digits in the second half, and then they came back. He had a perfect passer rating in the fourth quarter, coming off the win against the Broncos, where he had a perfect passer rating.
How many points did Jamar Chase get in your league, Dan?
I didn't see. Did he have a huge game?
Dude.
He had 49 in mine.
Yeah. I don't know what that means, but
11 catches, 200-something yards, 3
264.
touchdowns.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He had like 200 at the half.
If you had Jamar Chase, you won.
Okay.
You won.
You won.
And finally, Armin, the Dan Campbells, they come back from a 23-7 deficit at halftime to Houston.
I mean, we're about to see Houston, and I'm actually really happy that they're good, and they'll beat Dallas no matter who was playing. But I think they're a little overrated.
Yeah, the numbers would suggest so. Pretty sure they're a couple weeks ago they were like right there at as far as points scored and points given up, like equal. They don't have a good point differential. Let's see if
No, and I mean Goff. Again, Goff is not. I think he's been kind of high wire act all year.
they've given up more points now than they've scored.
Really?
Yeah, kind of like the Steelers last year. Goff 5 interceptions, and he had been really
The
good
Romo.
this year. Hadn't he been like? Didn't he have that game, a perfect game, right?
Yes,
No,
but I don't know that they've really asked him to do that much. You know what I mean? They've got a ton of playmakers. They have a good running game. He doesn't. I don't know. I just thought he was playing well. He was playing okay, and they're so good that he can just play okay, and they can beat somebody by 2 scores.
There was Goff MVP talk kind of starting.
Come on,
But kind of like Purdy MVP talk of last year. It's a really good team, and he's running it.
right?
And so you're going to get a couple votes.
You know, if we're gonna do a Dan long shot bet here. By the way, the Cavs won again. Kyler for MVP.
No way.
No, he's looking for value, and I like what he's doing.
Yeah, what? No, I'm not going to tell him Mahomes or
Yeah,
Allen or
Lamar. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Cooper Rush has great value, too.
Okay, I'm telling you, Kyler is He's having the best year of his career.
If they keep winning. The other note from the Detroit game, Amon-Ra, 7 straight games with a touchdown.
And he started a celebration.
He didn't start that.
Who did?
Wait, what did he do?
Now I see it everywhere.
The headstand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it was in college you got
Yeah,
started.
it was like a tiny school. It might have been like Incarnate Word or something.
Yeah, last week it started, right?
Yeah. No, it happened.
I mean, a couple weeks ago it started.
When did that
in
game
college.
happen? Was it Sunday night?
Detroit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened on Saturday, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I thought it was last week and people started doing it last weekend.
It's possible, but some super small college school, some kid did it and got immediately flagged for it. And then because sports rules, all the NFL dudes are like, that's awesome. We're going to do it. And he broke it out. It was Incarnate Word.
Yeah.
Jalen Wallfall of Incarnate Word in San Antonio. I'm on Raw.
And when was it?
Oh, I didn't look the part that could make you right.
Oh, okay. That's all I wanted to know.
I kind of just went for the part that confirmed the part I knew I was right about.
Okay.
Oh, he made the Washington Post. Just like you guys.
Hey!
All right. Now we'll take a break.
The Dumb Zone.
Dear Senor Slit Spitter.
Okay.
Oh, Splitter.
Jesus.
That's different. Splitter. I've split the slit, not spit. Dear Taste Tester of the Twat. Dear Johnny Gash and Slim Kargashian. Hello, Slit Sorcerer. Dear Uncle Fallopian Filler. Greetings, Warrior of the Whispering Eye. Dear Uncle Blue Waffle Taste Tester.
Ugh. That's horrible.
Hello, Uncle Vagina Vaporizer. Dear Uncle Stench Trench.
Oh, God.
Hey, Waterslide Womb Wizard. Dear Major Meat Curtain Motorboater. I have Dear Uncle Twat Mail. Dear Cunt Dracula. Dear Captain Camel Toe Cannibal.
Oh, my God.
Dear Fupa Führer. Dear Man in the Boat Manipulator. Dear Uncle Cumcutery. Hello, Uncle Beaver Buddy. Dear General Manager of Crest Vulva. What's up, Slit Whisperer? Dear Uncle Taco Terrorizer. Dear Uncle Snatch Tickler. And Dear Uncle Gash Stash. Dear Uncle Roast Beef. Sup Boners. And Dear Open Face Roast Beef Sandwich Punisher. Dear The Jizzler. Dear Sultan of the Slit. Captain Crease Caresser. Hey, Muff Maestro. Greetings, Gash, Geyser, Engager. Dear Uncle Gash, Smash, and Dash. Dear Senior Slit Smasher. Buenas tardes, Wizard of the Whisker Biscuit. Dear Uncle Battle Axe Wound Butcher. Uncle Clam Slammer. Uncle Cleveland Moose Knuckle. Hey there, King Jizzer and the Lick Her Wizard Sleeve. Dear Beaver Brigadier General. Dear Uncle Twatmail. Hey, Clit Clammers and Slit Slammers. Dear T.O. Clit Tickler. Dear Labia Liaison. Dear Uncle PP Toucher. Hey, Uncle Clit Commander. Hello, Gutter Gorger. Dear Magician of the Muff. Dear Sultan of Snatch. Dear Uncle Womb Raider.
Okay.
Good day to the Sultan of Twat, the King of Gash, the Great Clambino. Dear Uncle Taint Tamer. Dear Minge Binger. T.O. Taint Tickler. And Dear Uncle Pink Taco Pounder. Dearest Leader Ayatollah Glory Hola.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
We played it, Blake.
Finally got it in.
Huh. That's what she said. Get it, Julie?
Ha!
Because we're trying to get it in.
Ha! Ha! I get it.
And then it's a different angle than we all knew.
Did you guys know that?
Did we know what?
It's way down there. It kind of goes.
Wait. A lot's happening right now.
Like I thought it was
I'm
more of
just
a
like,
45 degree, and now it's actually like
the first time that
Putting
you
on
ever
lip
are.
gloss, and you're asking me if I know about an angle.
Well, the first time you're ever rounding bases with a female, whenever you're, well, really when you get married, because that's the only time you're ever like that with a woman.
That's right.
Yeah.
When
Wait until
procreating.
marriage.
I mentioned this once, and then universally received I thought that too. I kind of thought y'all's was where ours was, and it's not.
You're talking about private parts?
Mm-hmm.
It's down lower.
Like the first time you ever take that journey, you're like, where are we going? Like this is so far. This is basically
like your arm doesn't stretch that far.
Right. Yeah, it's
I hurt my
right. It doesn't make any sense.
Emily and I've talked about this.
No
on the
way.
game. And like it's kind of funny because you don't. I mean, just because this is what's weird. Just because it's on us doesn't mean that we really know either.
Yeah, it is. It does sound weird.
Like you don't go inspect it. I don't like measure. I don't know where everything is. I don't. You know what I mean? Like it's just
I knew where mine was pretty quickly.
It's like there you go.
I was very aware of.
That's the difference between boys and girls.
Where to find.
Girls don't go.
Dude, did I tell you guys the other day about the Theragun? I did, right?
The Theragun? What about the Theragun?
So I've been hitting the Theragun pretty hard.
Oh gosh, what's happening now?
And my son really likes the sound of it. It sounds like a vibrator or like a power tool. And he likes me to put it on his hand because it makes him laugh. He wants it on the highest setting and he wants me to put it on his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed him to kind of keep busy the other day for like 5 minutes. And I had been using the Theragun on the couch and I handed it to him and was like, you can do it. You know, you can do it on your own hand. And I turned around. 10 seconds later, I turned back around and he's Theragunning his balls. Just immediately figured out, like, let's see how this feels.
Excellent.
And did he keep it there? Did he like it?
I mean, I in horror was like, no.
Yeah.
Give me.
It is shocking when you see a kid testing with that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Brooks is doing.
Just figuring it out.
Well, he was a bad thumb sucker. Like, that was just, like, what he did. And so now we try to get him to stop doing that. So now he's just, like, grabbing his penis.
Oh.
Yeah, hand in the pants.
Yeah.
I get called out for that one just walking around the house.
You should.
She's like, why? And I'm like, I don't know. This is just what I do. She's like, wouldn't it be weird if I were doing that with my vagina? And I'm like, yeah, but yours is not the same.
I'd love it. Yeah, go ahead. Let's have at it.
I don't think I'd love that.
You wouldn't?
No.
She was just walking around.
Ours is on the outside.
What if she was just walking around holding her boob?
Now we're talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So hot. I agree. It is weird. You shouldn't walk around the house with your hand in your pants. There's a time and place. I guess you're in your house, but still.
Anyway, we saw Julie walking around Fox 4 here, and
this is like a Sports Center commercial.
Decided,
you know?
let's just let's have Julie hang out. She said she can't hang out for the rest of the show.
Okay.
Because of
life?
What is it? The moon or something? It's that time of the. Well, why
The
can't you stay
moon?
here? Yeah, I don't know.
Because I
Like
have
Jerry
a big
said.
sales call at 3.
Heyo.
Okay.
Wheeling and dealing, people. Sales don't sleep.
All right, it's basketball time, Rob. I don't know how you want to.
2, 3, 4.
Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Basketball, give me the ball because I'm gonna dunk it.
Well, yes, it is the kickoff day for the NBA Cup.
What?
As the Mavericks will be in group play tonight in the Bay. Mavs at Warriors, 9-ish tip on TNT. Captain Clay night. It's the return of Clay. They're going to have a big tribute for him, which I hope means he starts hitting shots because it's 10 games. And if Clay were the type of guy who took 1, 2, 3, or 4 3-pointers a game, I'd say we got to wait for this to normalize. That's not enough. Small sample. Well, he takes 8 a game, and he's shooting just over 35%, which would be down from his career low last year of 38.5%.
Wow, things started out super positive, too, this year.
They did. And he's still getting good looks, and him being out there still helps.
I mean, that was the theory, right? He's going to get better looks.
And he has. I haven't looked at it in the last couple games, but his shot quality scores, how open he is, have still been extremely open.
All right.
And he's 35% is not good for. I mean, that's average for any player. Like that's what Tim Hardaway was shooting.
Would the extremely open thing wane if he was to be the sixth man, which is the dream of this program, right?
It's possible, but he'd still be playing he would still be playing with Luka or Kyrie pretty much all the time, and he would be playing with Lively who's still a lob threat, which opens up the corners a little bit. I think he's just going to be open on this team, but right now, not so good, folks.
I was reading Istok Franco, who said this probably is due to Luka's slow start because teams are not blitzing Luka as much because they don't have to right now.
We definitely saw that in the second half of Sunday night's game at Denver. The first half, they blitzed Luka like crazy, doubles, blitzes, and he was finding shooters everywhere. In the second half, they stopped, and he was not really able to get it going. He's still not. I hate to say it, but honestly, he's got about 5 games of this left before the MVP is just not even a consideration. You know how this goes. Everybody decides who the 3 front runners are by Christmas. And like in years past, it doesn't matter how great you are after that. You don't catch up.
Well, then you're going to have to be a top 4 team in the West for sure.
I'm way more confident that they'll be able to do that than I am that he'll finish in the top couple in MVP. They are 5-5. They are playing a very good team on the road tonight.
Who's our MVP now if the season ended today?
Shea. Or possibly, I don't know, Donovan Mitchell splits a lot of points.
Oh, you might have to give it to some Cav, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Right now, by the way, what a bounce back for Kenny Atkinson and how tangled of a web we weave. Kenny Atkinson, who Kyrie got fired after winning 48 games with Brooklyn.
Probably deserved it, though.
I'm sure if Kyrie said so, then he deserved it. But he got the shaft, and here comes Kyrie, kicks him out. Now he's back in Cleveland.
My buddy with the Cavs was talking huge, giving him huge props before the season started.
He's
Loved
a
him.
good coach, dude.
Yeah, just
really
loved
good
him as
coach.
a-
I think
as
he
a
was
dude and everything.
Golden State assistant after he got fired by Kyrie.
Fired by Kyrie.
I mean,
Mostly Kevin
he
Durant.
pretty much got fired by Kyrie. But I got a
the
couple
old
things
Kyrie.
I want to play you from these last couple games. I guess all of this is from this weekend. Yeah, so the first one will go to Sunday night, where Friday night there was a confusing foul call at the end of the game where, as I said yesterday, Gafford's trying to get a rebound, which he doesn't really do at all right now. He kind of gets it, but Nurk, the Suns' big man, has position on the ball, goes up, and they call Gafford for a foul. Nurkic goes to the line, shoots a free throw. It's a game winner. It was in the final seconds. They had basically no shot on the other end to try to get the win. So there's a similar situation that comes up with 2.5 minutes left in the next game. This is Sunday night's game. And they review it, and the call goes the other way. But they kind of use the same logic, and I'm setting you up here. This is Followell being very upset about that call.
And Murray.
Oh, no, hold on. Wait, here's the first one. This is earlier in the game.
Now,
that's initially, and I know you're going to explain.
Yeah.
But initially, he got all ball.
Yes, yes. Now, this is the thing that if I were a Mavs fan, an MFFL, and as a matter of fact, I am. So I
gonna say,
from
this
this
is you.
perspective. Yes. This is what would rankle my feathers a little bit. The last 2-minute report of yesterday's game, of the Friday night game, said that Daniel Gafford had a clean block, but on the follow-through, he made contact with Nurkic's arm the other night, and it was illegal contact.
Right.
And then the referee said, James Williams, the crew chief, said that it was a clean strip, and the contact afterwards was just incidental contact on the arm. Yes.
So he's comparing the foul that they were called for Friday night with the one that they...
Friday night, they said Gafford.
Yeah, they said it was
not incidental.
They said that it was incidental contact, and so they kept the foul right when it was challenged. This time they're saying it's incidental contact, but they upheld the foul call and Denver got foul shots.
What was the difference between the illegal contact on Friday night and then what was deemed incidental contact there? That's the place where I'm having, I got to admit, a little trouble resolving all of this.
So,
do you realize how worked up you just got, old man?
Do you agree with him?
They had just
I definitely
gotten
agree
over
with
it.
him. Okay. But Followell doesn't do that often.
No, he doesn't.
And that was earlier in the game, right? That's the first half. And what is clearly going to be a dog fight of a matchup because Nuggets are getting a lead. Mavs come back and get ahead. Now we're at it's a one-possession game for most of the fourth quarter with Kyrie and Jokic just dueling. Luka catches fire. There's a moment where Luka's on a closeout. I think it might have been Jamal Murray about to take a three at the end of the shot clock, just a prayer. and Luka jumps at him and misses him. His jersey barely touches the elbow of the shooter when the shooter throws his elbow out. He's trying to draw a foul, but Luka missed him. And Followill lost it.
Shot clock winding down.
Get it off.
Call the foul.
Oh.
And there's going to be a challenge here. Dallas is going to challenge this. This is right in front of us, man.
Yeah.
And I did not like that call.
Especially before the shot clock went out.
No way, man. No way. No era penal.
All right, so now they're going to go to the challenge.
I'm sorry,
I
man.
agree with you.
Where in the hell is the foul on that?
I totally agree with you.
Yes.
I'm going to echo those same sentiments.
It's so weird, too, because the three of us are sitting right behind it.
Front
Hey,
of it,
kid's
yeah.
right here, and
Yeah.
the ref is right here as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at the bench.
How did four
everybody
people,
knows.
there were 5 people looking at that play, 4 people got it right.
See, this is what I was telling you guys. If they would just let me do a thumbs up or a thumbs down on
Yeah.
the calls.
How? Now, Luka was trying to get out of the way if you take a look.
Okay, so now we're going to go about another minute ahead. Are we all in agreement that you don't hear Followill like this too often?
Yeah, so they haven't ruled yet?
No, but they do. And they rule to uphold the foul. And the shooter gets 3 shots. Now, he missed 2 of them, which, of course, the broadcast is like, see.
Do they go nuts when they...
I'd like to see that
Do it again. Same.
Yes.
I was going to ask that question.
Now they've made the
All
ruling.
right, let's see. Let's look for the right elbow.
You know what happened is
He left his feet, but
he left his feet, which put him in a good situation, right? You know, Murray is the one that initiated that
Yes,
contact
he
with
jumped
his
into
elbow.
it.
Yes, he did.
y'all missed that one.
Well,
I don't know if they heard it. I don't know if they can hear me.
No,
but
they can't.
y'all missed that one.
No, you can hear Followill anywhere. I guarantee you they can hear it.
And on the shot you can see on TV, he's yelling at the ref.
Oh, my
and the ref's like 5 feet away, and Followill's just, you missed that one. I hope you can hear me.
Oh, wow.
We've seen guys get teed up.
Yeah.
Thrown out of
But I don't know.
games
If he's a fiery guy, and I love it, but I don't know that I've ever heard him just
It's no filter follow.
yelling at the ref on that one. Speaking of no filter, Friday night where they lost at the buzzer was worse than Sunday night where they lost at the buzzer. Friday night they came out looking flat again. I think a big part of this is, as great as Najee Marshall's been, they don't have PJ in the starting lineup. Everybody over there knows that the second Gafford comes out, Dwight Powell's coming in, and then Gafford's going to have to play way more, like 7 more minutes a game than he's used to with Lively out. Lively's just such an energy player, and they look flat in a lot of these games. So I wanted to hear Jason Kidd after the game. Now, what I normally do is the Mavericks, like a lot of teams, are kind enough to share with us a folder that has all their pre- and post-game media availability in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd read a couple quotes from Jason Kidd. I was like, geez, man, he's kind of going in on the team here. So I went to the link that the Mavericks sent us, and the file was 2 minutes long and did not include any of that.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, man, was this like a different day? Is it mislabeled? So I found the full one, which is 8 minutes long. And they, much like with Jerry talking about the sun, the video and the audio that the team put up conveniently left out the part that everyone was talking about, which in this case is very pissed off Jason Kidd. Two games in a row where people questioned the shot they got at the end. Luka, as Blake said yesterday, people were mad about that shot Sunday night. Then Kyrie took a heave. Both of them, I guess, could be called bad shots, but they're the only guys doing anything.
But this audio is Friday, right?
This is from Friday, same sort of situation where everybody's upset about the particulars of the last play, which Tim Cato kicks things off with.
Is it realistic to think that you guys could have got a better shot on the very, very final attempt?
Yeah, Luka got a good shot. What if? We don't play the what if. That's your job. We got the ball to the best player. Had a good look.
What was the play drawn up as?
What you saw. Luka got a good look at the top of the floor. If you run him anywhere else, he's going to run into traffic. So they executed. Fortunately, came up short. Just like the rebound or the foul or the turnovers or the 8 threes in the first quarter. Ask the important questions. Don't ask the stupid questions.
As you alluded, there was...
Okay, so we know right out of the gate this is not going to be a chill press conference.
Yeah.
He's pissed off. They're getting killed
Ask
on
the
offensive...
important questions.
Right. They're getting killed on the offensive glass. He knows what's ahead, which was Denver and then Golden State. They're very much at risk of dipping below 500 right now, despite having a top 10 offense and defense. The bench is giving them nothing because they're having to play too much and guys that shouldn't be playing.
Again, the fatigue of running Luka and Kai, 40-something minutes because our bench stinks right now. And so as deep as we are, we got to get someone to fucking participate off the bench. Somebody has to join the party to help Kai and Luka, and that's just not happening right now. It's a team. It's not just Luka and Kai and Clay. Others have to participate, and that's not happening right now. Played the whole fucking team tonight, and we couldn't find anybody, so we had to leave those two, to carry the load, and that's unfair for those two this early in the season.
So now we're using the Jason Kidd F word.
I don't know that I've ever heard him do that.
I don't either.
Was there an MF in there and then an F?
It's such a low talk that I can't tell.
I think there was an MF and then there was an F.
Quentin Grimes played 9 minutes Friday night, did not play Sunday night. With them being shorthanded. He's one of the off-season additions. You're thinking, boy, this guy's going to be in the rotation. Najee Marshall's been great, but Maxence Prosper, Omax is playing. Hardy's playing a lot, and he was awful Sunday night. About ready to say we've seen what we've seen. I know they just gave him a contract. It's a small contract. I'm kind of over it. So he was asked about Grimes.
Is there anything specific with Quentin Grimes that he needs to do to participate more?
Yeah, he's got to make a shot. He's got to just relax, I understand we're missing layups, We're just doing stupid stuff right now, and that tends to happen during the season, so we're not going to panic over that. But he's not a plus. Pretty much the bench is not a plus right now, so they got to participate. Understanding the open shots, the defense, we can't guard the ball out with 40 feet and get blown by. Jones and Allen cannot just walk to the basket. We got to keep the ball in front, and so defensively he's got to be better.
So he's, flat out calling out a player, saying he's bad.
Calling out the whole bench, though.
The whole bench is
saying the bench stinks. And if he's like, we don't play what if. Obviously, you do. You have to improve game to game. You do. If you see something that doesn't work, you do go, well, what if we did something different? And how might that have worked? I think. And so maybe he's just kind of arguing with, maybe Kidd has some kind of subtle genius that he knows he's now shifting it all to the media and everybody's against us and we're going to go like that. I don't know. I mean, these are long seasons. You know how this is.
Sure.
You're going to have
this has happened every
Kidd,
year.
and he's very aware of what the media is saying, and will tell somebody occasionally that they're asking stupid questions. And
yeah, and it's part of the deal. It's just they came out Sunday night, and I don't know that they looked better. I don't know that they were better early. They still got down, and they still lost at the end with a possession or two or three that everybody thought were bad possessions. But what he did Sunday night was the effort tonight was great because you can kind of only do that once per, portion of the season. He's like, we were great. Everybody was fired up tonight. We just didn't win this one. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, dude, I mean, they could very easily. They're dogs tonight on the road. Obviously, it's a really good Warriors team. They could wake up tomorrow and be 5-6, despite the fact that all of their numbers are pretty good. Except offensive rebound.
And clutch games.
Yeah.
1-4.
1-4.
When the whole, one of the worries with Jason Kidd whenever he was hired and the crap that had all happened in the past was him, turning on players and really kind of being a big jerk to them and making them uncomfortable and all that. And then, of course, you come here and you start winning and things are good. And we saw the nice, happy, easygoing Jason Kidd for the most part. What we're hearing there, maybe him reverting back to what happens when a team isn't playing well and starts to lose, and he starts throwing players under the bus to the media and cussing like early on in his season, that to me is so many red flags.
Watch who he throws under the bus too. He knows who
Right.
he's throwing. He's not throwing
Not yet.
Kai and Luka. No, there's no way he's ever throwing them under the bus about anything.
Yeah.
No,
because this is saying that they need more support, so he's throwing the other people under the bus. But
You know, he usually is scot-free of these things in his press conferences, unlike with Rick Carlisle, the coach. You don't often hear about the coach.
Oh, never. Yeah,
he's not taking any blame.
Very
he's not
consistent.
taking a look in the mirror.
The Jason Kidd era.
I need to take a look in the mirror. That was what Jamie Benn said after every loss. You
How
never
did he
hear
say
it,
it?
Coach. Well.
Okay. I do want to play you one other NBA related thing here, Rob. This is a Timberwolves thing. This is from Sunday night. The Timberwolves lost at home 95-94. And, I don't envy the person that has to handle in-game sound. Like, which team has the ball now? Which music are we going to play? There's a lot of people listening. It seems like a stressful job. But there's some songs that are definitely not for when play is happening, and definitely not for when your team has the ball on offense in the clutch. So I want you guys to see this. The sound will be here, and you can tell me. This would be the Timberwolves one. T-Wolves have the ball.
The chicken dance?
It's kind of a during the break type song, right?
Yeah, misfire there.
And it kind of looks like it too.
It's like chaotic, yeah. And he bricks one.
And the crowd.
And I'm even prepared for someone to tell me that that's fake, and I don't care.
Yeah, there's no way, right?
I don't think it would be pretty crazy good sound mixing to get it right.
Yeah.
But I also think that could happen at a game. You just hit the wrong button. You're like, oh, fuck, I got to write this out.
And the fans are watching. They're like, am I supposed to do the dance or am I watching basketball?
Expecting Mob Deep or something.
What do I do here?
Yeah, it's instrumental for, the chicken dance.
Are we doing that at weddings these days?
Chicken dance?
Yeah.
I think so.
I haven't heard the chicken dance in
Certainly
a while.
done at daddy-daughter dances.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, now you only hear it whenever somebody wins Chick-fil-A, like at the games. You don't hear it when Anthony Edwards is trying to level up the score. So there's your basketball for the day. College football time?
Sure.
Or do we not have time?
I think we have plenty of time. No?
All right, well, there's a couple of stories I want to make sure we get to here. The first one, BYU beat Utah the other night, remaining undefeated and with an inside track for the playoff. Now, they will have to play in the Big 12 championship game. I'm not familiar with how all the scenarios shake out, but I guess there remains a chance they could play Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
There's a little bit of a are you familiar with who's beat who in the top of the standings and all that, Blake?
No.
Because Colorado's loss is to BYU, right?
Yeah, very early.
Okay, they lost to BYU and they lost to Nebraska.
And yeah, that doesn't matter.
Okay, that'd be a fun one to see Colorado and BYU. They are currently at the top of the conference. BYU remains undefeated as they were playing Utah. I think there's some battle for the souls or something.
Holy War.
Holy War. There you go. That's what they call it out there. And late in the game, Utah's up. BYU's backed up towards their own goal line. It is 4th down, and they take a sack. Should be the end of the game. But there is a defensive holding penalty called on Utah. Gives them yardage and a fresh set of downs, and they go the length of the field and score. Game over. I will tell you, I've looked at the play a handful of times. It's pretty clearly a hold. You don't think so, Blake?
Well, it happens on the far sideline, so it's very
way
hard to
away
tell.
from the ball. But looked like a hold to me. But the AD, not the coach, the AD from Utah is first up at the podium. And he's got to let the conference know.
We should start that Utah was supposed to be good this year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They have one of these 8-year quarterbacks in Cam Rising
They say he's going to get to play again.
Who's got a weird injury situation. They're supposed to be good, and they end up being horrible. Their offense sucks. They were supposed to not have a chance in this game at all.
Yeah.
BYU is awesome.
And it's rival.
It's at Utah. It's packed. That fourth down, everyone goes insane.
Yeah.
It's like what college football, it's the best part of college football. And then a very late flag happens. And you're right. It looks like a hold in some angles. The broadcast booth was like, yeah, that's probably a hold. But just stemming off of the emotions of that.
Oh, yeah.
They're not in a game they're not supposed to win.
And the AD, this is what you always want from the guy in charge. He was running down the refs after the game. Like, they showed him on the field after the game. So it wasn't a huge surprise that he wanted his podium time after that.
For 12 years,
I don't know what that's in reference
this game was absolutely stolen from us.
Been in 80
we were
for 12
excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight. Thank you.
That cost him $40,000.
And that is for the coaches' press conference. That's why some people were not rolling yet.
Yeah.
There's no AD press conference.
He just walked up.
He walked in
Like,
there,
I need
sat
to-
down,
Mm-hmm.
said, hey.
Grab the mic.
I'm the boss. This guy's boss. So yeah.
He said he's going to talk to the manager.
In his
He went full
statement, he
Karen.
said, hey, he did go
He went
full
Karen.
Yeah.
In his statement, he said, hey, I made clear
Kevin.
my feeling related to game officiating. However, I recognize that there are more appropriate times and avenues to express those concerns, and I accept the consequences of my decision. So that happened in the Holy War, and then Saturday we also had LSU Alabama, and game day was on the scene. Now, as we'll get to in a moment, game day and really all of college football and America were operating with heavy hearts.
Jeez.
As we lost a friend in Ben Herbstreit. We'll get to that in 1 second. I just want you, Dan, because you don't ever watch game day, right?
Correct.
I want you to get
Although
a
I did
feel.
see Livy Dunn and Paul Skeens were going to be there.
Yes,
Yeah.
Pickers. That's right.
Yeah.
I want you to get a feel for how this show operates now in the year of our McAfee 2024. They have him, what's his name? Reese Davis does the intros. I got Hall of Famer, College Football Hall of Famer, Pat McAfee's here. And then it's time for McAfee kicks things off. This is 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, wherever they are. This is how it starts.
There was a wise man that once said, whenever there's a night game down here in Baton Rouge, if you stand on the 50-yard line, you can actually smell the whiskey from 102,000 people. So soon as it was announced that we were coming down here, the only song I was playing all week was, Operator, won't you put me on through? Gotta sing my love down the family. Hurry up. Put her on the line and talk to my girl just one more time.
A classic.
Heck yeah. I like it.
Ever since I got here.
Okay, so that one's good. All right,
How can y'all not be
we're doing
singing?
Colin Baton Rouge. I'm a huge fan of that song. So that was fine. Let's see what else the crowd has for us.
I will say, it is very, very thick, but they love their ball. All the way from the governor, Jeff Landry, who wants a live tiger on the field tonight.
Is he preaching?
Oh, yeah, that's what he does now. And he sort of regionalizes his preaching. He always does that West Virginia, Ohio thing, but then he twangs it up depending on where they are. So right now we're in Cajun country.
To the Blue Dan in the gumbo that had Jew bands last night, and they told me that if I come in front of these.
All right, now do you know what LSU fans are known for chanting? Blake does.
No.
The student section. I heard this when I was just a young boy at a Texas LSU game.
These fantastic Tigers, and I say, hey! They'll say, it's 8 a.m.
Okay, so now we've got Lee Corso and Nick Saban up here.
What are they saying?
They'll say,
F.
Suck that tiger dick, bitch.
Oh my gosh.
They call it Nick.
Yeah, it's Nick. The band plays it.
This is on ESPN?
Yeah,
Wow.
at 8:03 in the morning. Boy, I bet they told him, don't stop that. Cut that out.
It's 8 a.m. I think they're ready to go. We thank you. Let's have a day down here. LSU, Alabama, Reese Davis.
You didn't know that was coming.
I didn't know.
That was fairly aggressive.
I thought they were going to say thick, like the humidity. I didn't know it was actually. Yeah, you can hear thick in there. You can hear that. Yeah. They love their ball here, and they love their Tigers.
All right, so
I love it, man. I love it.
You're getting your coffee out in the morning, and the
He's
paper.
good at that.
Yeah,
I love.
good at that.
I think. Yeah, I like the McAfeeization of.
I mean, I honestly don't
ESPN.
hate it.
Whatever.
It's a
I
lot.
love a guy that can go in and do what he wants.
He can definitely do that. It's just funny because Corso is up there, Nick Saban's there,
Right.
and he's just in front of a few thousand drunk 22-year-olds. They're just like, suck that Tiger dick, bitch.
Seems a bit misogynistic, but who knows?
Yeah,
Maybe it's not.
And they just need an inch to say that. Like they're waiting to say that all day.
Yeah, no, you know what?
So they
actually,
just
the
need
one
that
I used to hear growing up, they've always been an extremely rowdy, in-your-face, vulgar fan base, and I love it. I heard things I'd never heard before when I was a kid at an LSU game. Like, this does not happen in Austin.
Boy, my daughter very nearly went there to play in that band.
That was
awesome.
Well, she would have been playing
That was
neck.
number
She
2.
would have been screaming that.
She
or
would have been playing
that.
neck.
That was the number 2 choice.
It's closer.
I thought you were going to talk about that Tiger thing is a big controversy right now.
Yeah. So what? That Mike the Tiger wasn't there, but there was.
Well, they haven't had a Tiger on the sidelines since 2016.
Okay.
Because Mike the Tiger was frequently mistreated.
Mm-hmm.
Cheerleaders would provoke it into roaring. They'd rattle the cage. They'd wave a stuffed tiger in front of it. And apparently the governor of Louisiana last week or recently has been calling for the return of the tiger to the sideline. And so they went out and contracted another tiger to
I
bring
heard
in.
about that guy.
So they don't even have, it's not Mike the Tiger, it's just a tiger.
Who's very much alive.
Yeah, and so then PETA's into it. But
I saw
then,
Carol Baskins weighed in.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that
Is she
name
against?
in a long time.
Yeah, no, she was pretty much against it. Yeah.
And then the governor, even though it's gotten a lot of backlash and stuff, he's like, apparently he on Monday was given a speech somewhere at a political event. He defended the thought of having the tiger on the sideline, and he said, our live tiger, unfortunately, disappointingly, was the only tiger who showed up Saturday. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
All right.
Damn.
I like it.
And he said, this is about tradition. And tradition is about respecting those who came before you. So.
All right.
Things that sound dirty but probably weren't intended to be.
Well, speaking of respecting those that came before you, there was a new dog at game day on Saturday.
These woke people have tried to
there's
take
more.
tradition out of this country.
I knew it.
It's
I should've-
tradition that built this country.
I should have known.
Did tradition build the country, or was it just...
Yeah, it seems like it was kind of a break from tradition, where we were like, they got all these other traditions over here. These suck.
Yeah,
we
don't like that king and stuff.
Mm-mm. We want our own deal.
But yeah.
But that was obviously not what everybody was focused on at game day. The live tiger, McAfee. It was time to talk about the passing of Ben Herbstreit. You see him there on the video. He's just in an oddly cropped photo that we didn't crop. Kirk Herbstreit did. He's with Kirk Herbstreit everywhere. He makes us know about him. He's on the field. He's on the set. Blake, very annoyed by this. And I actually can't even...
Called for the death.
I actually can't even pretend that I'm not annoyed by it to do the bit. Like, normally I'd be like, this is disgusting, Blake. I can't, because I hate it too. It's just silly.
If
you have a dog, that's awesome. So do I. I love it. Cool.
You know what?
You know what? Everybody has a dog if they want one.
When I think
Really not a
about
big deal.
dogs and dog talk and dog pictures is
baby vacation.
Right. I am really into my dogs,
Mhm.
but I don't think you are. They're my dogs, like my kids. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to share pictures of them.
Yeah.
Unless something crazy happens.
But
Yeah,
people
or-
like dogs. If
or-
you're looking for engagement. And
People do like dogs.
That's all he's
stuff on
looking
your
for, though.
photos.
That's all he's looking for.
But I think it started innocent because he said that he got lonely traveling. And so Ben was there, and that on surface level is cool. What's not cool is showing Ben in the press box. Here's Ben's press pass with Ben's picture on it.
Yep.
Here's Ben walking the field. Here's Ben's thoughts on the first half.
Yep. We got a post about Ben and Ben and Ben and Ben. And obviously, so there's a funny thing that happens where if you tweet or
He's
post
on the show
something
with us.
that somehow gets out to the masses beyond just people who know who you are, that's when you're really having fun on social media. And so I flip on game day the other morning and I notice that he has another dog up there. Now, of course, I am aware that Kirk Herbstreit has several dogs. He has like 5 of them. I don't think they're all golden retrievers, but I knew he had another one, a couple of them, whatever. And I just joked like, "Hey, the body's not even cold yet," and they got another retriever out here. And within 30 minutes, it had reached the point where people were like, "You dumbass, he's got a bunch of dogs." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I didn't think." But my point stands. He's led us to believe that Ben was his favorite dog, correct?
That Ben was special.
Ben was special. Ben, as he says, is a one of one.
Ben would go on the road. Yeah.
Ben
if he
was
has
his-
lots of dogs, he didn't bring them.
Ben was his best friend.
Ben was his best friend. Ben was everyone's best friend, America's.
Mm-hmm.
So don't you think it's a little trite
Like
to
2
tell
days
us how
after,
great this dog was and how much he meant to you? A void that can't be filled.
within 3 days or whatever, he's got a new dog.
2 days, there's another dog on set.
Like if
roaming
your
around.
kid died,
And you know what else? They didn't even let Ben have the kind of access this asshole had on Saturday.
No,
it was
he's-
everywhere.
He's on set.
Saban's trying to use the pointer and the clicker to break down plays, and he's got this dog just right there.
Horrible.
Kind of like when the kid I'm Roseanne left, and then all of a sudden there's another kid with the same name, and we just acted like that, didn't we?
Yeah, no big deal. They did it on Game of Thrones, too.
It also bothered me that it was the exact replica of Ben. Like it's another.
Pick one of
golden
the other
lab.
dogs.
Like if you die or your wife dies, aren't you picking like someone that looks a lot different? Like,
Yeah.
You're not going to pick the same looking person.
Yeah, and you know
And
what?
is she there the week that
I
your
was going to
wife
say,
died?
And then 2 days after.
I'm a gentleman
your
of enough
kids
to where
they
whenever
won't
I pick a new woman who looks nothing like my wife, I won't bring her to the funeral.
No.
Right.
Space it out.
Basically, this was the
thoughtful.
funeral.
Yes.
It was the first public appearance for Herbie.
Don't tell me this dog was special if he can be replaced just by, hey, let's call the bullpen. New dog,
I got
new
it.
retriever.
Yep, new dog.
So
Did they do a sappy feature? Do they do that on?
We're making a lot of good picks.
we're making picks. Let's have some fun.
You still have. We'll get to that last one on the board coming up shortly, right there, and see what he's got. Stanford Steve's been hot for a while. If you followed along in college football and social media anywhere, maybe if you just drove down the street, we've seen billboards, we've seen signs. All of us have received
Billboards.
number of messages.
I mean, I guarantee you there actually were. I have a couple of people, listeners of this show, who told me that, for one, they sent me a screenshot of ESPN.com where they had, tabs, college football, NBA, MMA, UFC, Ben's passing.
Oh.
I was informed by a listener of the show who calls a little college play-by-play that in the game they were doing, which was not, I don't know, it wasn't the game Herbie was doing, I don't think. Maybe it was. Doesn't matter. That in the press box there was a little Ben card for each member to take with them.
So this was one of the first times I've been disappointed in the internet because I was just waiting for that one tweet that said, "Hey, back in 2017, Ben Herbstreit said the N-word."
Dude, I actually have
a bin spin.
I have proof that I put it out there to the group chat. I'm like, hey, if anybody's really good at Photoshop, like we just need like a mock-up of the Ben Herbstreit Twitter account that has likes highlighted, and it's just got some Nazi stuff, and a little bit of racism in there.
Number of messages about the loss of Kirk's dog, Ben Herbstreit, and Kirk we appreciate so much that you were sharing Ben with us over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
There's not much that has gotten as much attention on social media than the love for the dog. I mean, we've seen he's been a great teammate of ours for a while.
It's
Kirk has put together an essay remembering Ben and how much he meant to all of you, certainly meant to him. Here is our tribute to our friend Ben Herbstreit.
Dogs are known as man's best friend.
Okay, so that's about.
All right, enough.
Oh.
He's up there just bawling.
Kirk has put together an essay remembering.
Hold on, I think I might have missed one part right here.
And the crowd ready to.
I can't tell how he's
go
reacting.
from the sucking chance.
But I heard Julie laughing, so maybe we just need to hear this part.
Teammate of ours for a while.
It's
Kirk has
Did he
put
fart?
together an essay remembering Ben and how much he meant to all of you.
Is that a cry fart?
Julie.
Here's our tribute to our
You know when you're like trying to hold in either a laugh or a cry and all you can make is that little raspberry noise? So they toss it over to him and he's like trying to talk and all he can do is like make this noise.
So now they do have about a 2-minute tribute. Just to remind us, this is you better chill.
No, I love it.
That this is the best dog who ever lived, and he was everyone. Because the thing is, he wasn't just Kirk Herbstreit's dog. He wasn't just college football's dog. He was America's dog. This is the end of the piece.
The way they refer to him, hold on, sorry, they don't. It's not Kirk Herbstreit's dog. It's Ben Herbstreit.
Yeah, no.
Does he have to have a last name?
Yeah, they put it up there on the
It's
immemorial
not Kirk's
too.
dog. He's just his own thing. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
didn't someone ask us about this recently? That like
Can you name it?
It's gay to give your dog your last name.
Yeah, unless like the doctor needs it for
only
something.
at the vet.
The vet, yeah.
Dogs' only flaw as a species is they don't live long enough. But the warmth they give us, that never goes away. So neither will Ben. This man's best friend, who became America's best friend.
No, they put the graphic up there and the year. I don't think they did the years, but on Ed.
Nice
Yeah.
transition.
Yep.
Not smooth.
Yep.
America's best friend.
America's best friend.
That's awful.
You know, we had dogs that were actually there on 9/11 pulling bodies out of the rubble. Like, we have dogs that go to war. Like, literal war. Not just kind of get to hang out. Yeah.
And it's cool that he knows where Kirk's hotel room is.
Yeah.
He's a special dog.
You got your wish, Blake.
Good riddance.
There you go.
Jeez.
Oh, I don't want to hear it.
I mean, it's all overblown, but we don't wish death on Ben, do we? You're glad Ben's dead?
Well, I'm not
He's
now because
very
now we've
cute.
got Peter Herbstreit.
Yeah, there's a new one.
What's the new dog's name?
Peter, which I've already muted on
Peter?
Twitter.
Pete? I don't know.
Yeah, well, they found success with Ben. They're going to keep this franchise
course.
going.
Are you for giving pets normal human names?
I like that quite a bit, yeah.
As like more normal than most kids these days.
Like
It's not
objectively, a
Jaden.
dog named Dan would be funny.
Yeah, but not Jaden or
No,
Caden.
nothing like that. Just like Roy,
Yeah.
Frank.
We named the new dog that I got from my brother-in-law. Named him Danny.
You did?
Yeah. It was going to be Dan, but then just yelling Dan at a dog didn't feel right, so we went
Take your
Danny.
aggression out.
Yeah.
You have too much Dan in your life, if that was the case.
Way too much.
I just wanted to yell at a Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we move on to news? Are you staying or what are you doing?
I think I've decided that I'll stay till, another 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll
Wow.
just do my call here.
Here's Jake.
Her body, her choice.
All right, so like Blake likes it, we're going to do a bunch of stories about death today. Over in China, there was a man. I usually don't do these type of stories. There was a name that Dan would give. Well, we can just say it. Dan used to say, I don't want to hear all these throwdown news desk stories. This one I feel like we have to do because I've mentioned to you before that in China, I think this is just China. I don't think it's other parts of Asia. Although now I'm waffling on that. But there are so many more men than women.
It's not all China?
I don't think so.
You're saying there's more
I think so.
countries than China?
Others. Marriage is like the whole – you trying to find a woman to marry you is a big deal. Like they have elaborate proposals where you've got to pull out all the stops. Like women are a hot commodity in China.
Courting is serious.
Yes. And
really?
So much so that I've seen stories where if the woman said no, the person kills themselves.
Oh, dear.
Now, of course, Julie, the way they got to that way it should be was by leaving their daughters in the woods when they were babies as part of the one-child policy.
Oh.
And families only allowed to have one.
Would they have an abortion if they knew it was going to be a girl and stuff?
I think that in most cases the baby was born and then
they would
discard it.
The post-abortion.
They'd plot.
I could have that wrong, but it didn't work out well for them. A major failure of central planning of society. So in China,
but that would have been a great place to go if you were looking to adopt. You just go walk through the woods.
They're everywhere.
There's a baby.
A baby patch.
Yeah, maybe did they start their own little society?
Yeah.
Like a Lord of the Flies type
little
thing?
baby world in the woods.
No, they all died.
Oh.
That's not as funny.
As did 35 people in China when this man who he was served papers, whatever the equivalent of that is in China, 62-year-old man. He was told he's being divorced, which is kind of a bummer. 62, you're like, all right, I'm in the clear. Right? Like, if you don't want to get divorced, I think it's better to hit it at
there are people that don't want to get divorced,
35. Right.
Yeah, all right. Interesting.
But at 62, you're like, serious? I may never get laid again. But at 32, 35, 42, you're like, all right, I can probably break something off.
That's divorce zone.
Yeah. So he ran his car into a crowd of people at an exercise facility and killed 35 of them. There are videos.
Yikes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people to kill.
It is.
For one car.
For one car and for China.
Well, there's a lot of people, though, in China. They could replace him pretty easily.
That is true. 43 injured, 35 killed. So much like,
and then is he okay?
He's he's injured but not deceased. But I think it just goes to show that due to the way that the global economy works, that we can't have anything for our own. Like the Chinese have to rip even terrorist attacks in public off, where you just kill a huge group of people in a crowd because you're upset about something. That's kind of our deal.
Well, they
so
do
a cheap knockoff.
Yeah, they like to adopt some of the Western policies,
right?
Or bits like blue jeans.
Okay,
it used to be a thing you'd hear.
Is the response to this that they needed more good guys with cars?
Yes. Yeah, it's what they did. They added cars on every corner.
Well, that's I bet you firearms are more limited in China.
I believe that is strongly the case.
Because I'll bet,
so
obviously, if you can get a firearm, it's a lot easier than grabbing the car.
Yeah, and you'll hear about knife attacks.
Save money on gas.
Knife attacks are a thing over there.
Yeah.
But no, most militant communist governments are not going to arm their citizenry. They're kind of like, what could go wrong there?
You said at an exercise facility?
Yeah, that's how it's described in this article.
35 people. I feel like that's a very packed exercise facility. Everyone's waiting in line for the...
It's probably like Monday.
For the elliptical.
Yeah, everybody's doing chest. No, like if you go to the gym or whatever, it's easily that many.
Just go through the whole building, I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, man.
Like you ever see the treadmill line? Yeah, there's 35 treadmills right there. Just pop them all off.
That's the sound as you're...
Each one. You have to do 35 of those sounds.
So 35 people died in that one, Blake. So making sure you're happy with our news tally so far. Blake gets mad when I do happy news stories.
What?
Yeah.
I'm just mad that
there was heavy
someone
traffic.
got to Jake.
Heavy traffic reported earlier this morning. There was a.
He was reading the comments, and
there was a crash. Well, I read the one that Blake read to me. A
But
crash
like,
at
your news stories
121
are too
and,
happy?
and 35.
Great, Jake. I feel
No,
like
he
they
said
should
they were
be-
too negative.
Yeah.
And that's why Jake has kind of changed these days, and that's why he's leading with China death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we're happy if Chinese people die.
Trying to answer to the comments. You do you.
So there was a wreck this morning in Fort Worth, 121 and 35, big traffic, and this is a cool outcome because guy caused a big accident, and he jumped out of the car and into a nearby river and has not been seen since then.
Wow, he didn't want to deal with it.
Jumped from the overpass bridge into the river.
Which over?
Oh, you
Did I
know
ever
what?
tell you how
They did
great-
update this story. They did find the guy. Dang it.
Oh,
but he
it
did
happened
that.
again.
That was his move, though. His move was I'm jumping
get away.
Yeah, jump got out of the car, jumped off the bridge into the river, and I guess they eventually went in and got him.
So they got him out of the river?
Yeah.
So he had an unsuccessful attempt of running away from the crime.
I respect it though.
Like the
river's right there.
Yeah, but then you got to they got your car, so they probably gonna find where you live. So you just got to be gone forever.
Unless you stole the car.
You got to become Riverman.
Unless you stole the car. So the moral of the story:
don't drive your own car.
Always steal a car.
Would you rather try to survive in a river or a forest?
I think a forest.
Like the babies in the forest or the man.
It's got to be the forest.
Yeah.
Just feels like you get all like pruny if you're in the river.
Yeah, I mean you could get hypothermia too,
It'd be
right?
fun to like build a float though and like float around in it.
I don't think it would at all.
That sounds
You'd
terrible.
be soaking.
No?
I don't think I could do it.
Wasn't that Milo and Otis? No.
What are you saying? What words are you saying all in a consecutively?
I think I've
floated
heard
down the river
I
in
think
the
I've
little
heard
box.
of Milo and Otis.
Yeah,
Let's see.
yeah, and it like floated down the river in the little box and
Yeah, it's a cat and a dog.
yeah, they had to survive on the river.
There was a time where
Like that's fictional.
Did they talk?
Yeah, they talked. That's why I think it'd be fun to try to survive in a river because it looked fun when they did it.
Boy, we often talk about the era of the divorced parent, the divorced parent theme in movies. There was like a weird cultural thing that peaked. Probably lasted half a decade of talking animals. Like you don't see a whole lot of that anymore.
I think because the technology was perfected.
Yeah.
So we're like, we got to eat like Super Bowl commercials, movies. Like, oh, we can make their mouths move in conjunction with the words they're saying now. This is so much better than Mr. Ed or whatever.
Yeah, Dr. Dolittle, Homeward Bound.
Mm-hmm.
Did Beethoven talk?
I think so.
I don't know if he did.
Homeward Bound rocks.
That was great.
Yeah. And Babe, right?
Babe talks.
Babe was good.
Yeah. That's what makes Zookeeper so funny is that all of America was like, I thought we were done with this.
Right.
Kevin James is like,
More talking animals.
It can be better.
It could have me, Kevin.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those movies. And it doesn't seem like we've gone back to that well lately.
Kids, we were all just a bunch of idiots. Like, there's just these animals with little voices, and we're like, oh, look, animals talk. I thought that all animals talked because of the movies. It's a rude awakening when you become an adult and realize it's not true.
This is, I'm trying to be an equal opportunity offender here, right? Because I would imagine that if somebody who listens to this show who knows my religious leanings would be like, hey, you're always reporting on these horrible things that Christian pastors, preachers do. Well, today in the news, we're focusing on a man who was arrested on October 30th for child pornography-related charges. He is a North Texas imam, and that's not a mom on the internet.
What is that?
Muslim.
Okay, good.
Yeah. He is known for leading online Quran education programs.
You're saying the Muslim can be a pedo as well.
I'm trying to just make sure everybody knows they can get involved.
Being a pedo knows no boundaries.
Correct. I mean, there may still be something to my theory regarding religion in general. Seems to at times have a little bit of a fuzzy view on
Can you be
correct
not
age.
religious and a pedo?
Certainly. In fact, raw number-wise, it's got, well, I don't know. I was going to say raw number-wise, it's got to be higher, but there are more people who identify as religious than don't, so that's probably not true either.
Well, we know about these people because it's their profession.
Correct.
Do you call a female teacher that has some love with an underage boy a pedo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a Shido.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
veto.
A veto, yeah, because you got the P,
I guess it
the
depends.
P and the V.
There you go.
I don't legally, I suppose, but this is not like a legal term.
Why am I laughing? Like, what are we talking about?
I think I have the same.
Oh yeah, 13-year-old boy.
I think I have the same approach that I have for the male being the older person. I don't think of a 26-year-old male who has sex with a 17-year-old female as a pedophile.
Right.
But I would think of if a 40-year-old female had sex with an 11-year-old male, I would call that person a pedophile.
Yeah, okay, same rule.
I don't know what the cutoffs are.
I guess I was asking about the lady. Yeah, are there 40-year-old ladies
Also,
having
how-
sex with a 10-year-old
Like,
boy?
how yoked up is this sixth-grade boy? Like, is he the quarterback? Like, I mean, maybe you could sell me on the idea that you're not a pedophile. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
she
could-
looks older.
Yeah.
But I was just asking because there doesn't seem to be the female serial killer unless they're just good at getting away with it. There is the serial killer, but it's different, right?
What do you mean?
You'll hear about the nurse that,
Yeah.
killed 20 people over a period of years or something
Not
like
like
that.
a career serial killer.
I
But
guess
like someone
not
that
like
kills people
your Dexter.
via.
Although
their
didn't
job.
Dexter actually meet a lady who would kill? Or am I thinking of a different TV show?
There were a couple different arcs, but they didn't really do the killing. They were just there with him.
That sounds like women.
I'm talking about, yeah, never mind. I'm not going to talk Dexter with you. You don't care.
I'm a fan of Dexter.
He was interested.
I mean,
You had him there.
My wife's
It's
working
me who
her way
doesn't
through it
care
right now.
Okay.
about whatever you're about to say.
Well, season 5, Lumen, was part of a sex trafficking ring, and then she tried to find justice or whatever, get him back.
But you saying they're just usually just there.
But
that's
when-
what women aren't ready to do the work. They're just ready to be there, stand around.
Bitch about it.
Yeah, they don't want to do all the cutting and the bagging up of the limbs.
Mm-hmm.
Typical women.
Yeah.
They don't want to do any of the work.
Julie ain't even listening. She's texting someone.
I was listening.
All right. There's your news.
If I was a killer, I wouldn't want to do it.
Why are you so dejected?
I'm going to be honest with you, Blake. It was the Dexter thing. I was kind of
Good show.
riding a high until...
And subscribe.
I have a couple of viewer mail birthdays.
You'll never believe how he gets away with it. He knows the tricks of the trade.
So the Dexter thing was worse than some Special Olympics kid in Plano that did something cool?
If you notice, I had a lot of good news today, and I didn't do any of it. I don't want to listen to your bickering and complaining at me.
Keep your news happy. Go happy, sad, happy, sad, happy, sad, happy. That's how I think you should do it. You got to mix them up.
Yeah, do your cute little news over there.
And now,
He called my bluff.
the feel-good story of the day, right here on the Dumb Zone News Desk.
Well, a dog that was so matted that he could barely walk has a second chance at life
I
thanks to
love
some
this.
friends right here at Fox 4. The 7-year-old Chihuahua was found back in September, and his fur was so matted that they didn't think he'd live. Couldn't see. And now he looks completely different and has a loving home in Murphy, adopted by a couple of viewers of Fox 4.
Out by Wiley.
Now here's Today in History.
We're not today in history yet. Just
Whatever.
a few birthday. All right. Dear Uncle Hotmail and, in parentheses, insert being good at cunnilingus pun here.
Look on graphic.
Today, Tuesday, November 12th, it's my birthday. I'm 46. That probably aligns with the jersey number. I do need to take a moment to honor Dan and Blake's bravery in supporting Jake. Better to be heroes than a quitter. My leaders are William Pace, the off-mic laugh of Video Man, and Jake's quest for the hand of Charlotte Jones. More Sarah Hepola. More hot takes on all things from Blake. More Jake shouting booyah into the camera after sick burns. P.S. The Boys is great, and it does get a bit off the rails in season 4.
No way.
Stay well. Your man in Maine, Tim.
Maine?
I had a thought last night.
A Maine man.
When I got home, the wife was watching The Golden Bachelorette.
Oh, we're doing that.
Well, it's almost over. Last night was like before the finale.
So we have an
As
old
Julie
lady?
knows. Yeah.
Okay. Is it the lady like who lost the Golden Bachelor thing?
I don't remember.
Do they do that with the
I don't
Bachelor,
recall.
Bachelorette?
They may.
Okay.
Yeah, they do that.
They definitely do it with Bachelor, Bachelorette, as Dan's saying. I don't know.
I
But
think it is.
I haven't heard a lot of buzz about this like I was back in the
it's
Golden
a legit
Bachelor
good show.
Okay.
It'll make you feel good.
Do they
But,
have an F room like Love Island, Australia?
They didn't do it. Well, I mean, they've got the fantasy suite on Bachelor, and they turned it. She was like, I don't need to do that.
Oh, she looks great.
She looks hot.
She's extremely hot.
I'm
now,
pretty sure she was one of them.
when she moves her hair to either side, you can see all the scars from the 70 hours of surgery she's had.
Do they have any
You
like?
can't really move her face.
Is it all dudes her age, or do they got any young studs like yourself?
No, there's no.
Because wouldn't you be into that?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I believe that's actually there is a show where they do that, MILF Island.
Look at them all. Look at all those suitors.
Yeah.
Does she eliminate the black guy immediately?
I think
Isn't that
there's-
like the?
It's
the
not a
thing?
horror movie.
They don't let you eliminate them immediately.
I thought they'd do that
It's
though.
usually like the second round.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't want to make it obvious.
But I was thinking,
I'm not saying they should.
I'm not either.
what's a better opportunity for marketing the Dallas Cowboys than Charlotte calls this bid off with this guy right now and
my
next
God.
season?
They're already married.
People call off marriages all the time.
Yeah, get it
Called off
annulled.
the first one.
They could pay that off. Yeah,
How great would that be?
it'd be unbelievable.
Thanks.
Would we live stream like we'd watch it and you could watch us
I mean,
watch it?
Cowboys fans need something to entertain them.
Hell yeah.
But I don't know. I think I gotta go, y'all.
Self rim shot. What are you, Rob?
2 more birthdays, Julie. Dear Picasso of the Poon.
Have you broken your abstinence to Cameron Brink yet?
No.
You're not going to?
No.
I feel like I shouldn't be
She's
here
too
for this
pure.
conversation.
Too strong?
Yeah.
It's my Regonk McLean birthday. My leaders are Emily Jones, Dan's vacation hotel christening ritual, and Jake's shoe scorpion.
That sucked.
I look forward to the next episode of Jake's Struggle with Addiction, brought to you by Lone Star Beer and Weed Gummies. More Blake and Julie.
Nobody ever said I had to quit the early bird.
P.S. Tell Blake that a big group from the DZP1 Twitterverse have moved over to Blue Sky.
Yeah, I keep.
I've never heard of Blue Sky.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't?
What happened to like Threads? Wasn't that a thing?
That was Instagram's Twitter, wasn't it?
I don't know, but Blue Sky is what people started going to when Elon bought Twitter. But I got to tell you guys, I'm out. Like, I'm checked out on new
Yeah, none of them really.
new
took.
platforms are not going to happen.
None of them caught on. Not even Threads.
I can't even get on Instagram. Like, it's just you got to know when you're done.
But you're staying on Twitter.
Yeah. I'm just
Okay.
I'm not gonna engage a new platform.
This is
Why
exactly
can't you
like
get on
Twitter.
Instagram?
Oh, I mean, I'm on it. I just don't have. In my mind, I'm already too distracted. I don't need a new thing.
I backed off at X. I'm more Insta than X these days.
This is from Brian Baker.
If anybody cared.
And thank you for
you
your
tell?
service, Secretary of State Pounder.
Nice.
Want to wish myself a happy birthday in
twist?
between my Brandon Browner birthday and my Byron Maxwell birthday. My leaders are tap back rebounds and how Jake wears a Ninja Turtle mask. From Justin. Did you recently do that on TV?
On internet.
On
Round
internet
Ball
TV.
Talk.
So Roundball Talk is just internet TV. We here are on DZ TV.
Real TV.
Real TV. All right. Thanks, Julie.
You're welcome. Thanks
You
for
said
having
you
me.
wanted to leave, right?
Yep, I gotta go. Also, I brought
Before
you,
this becomes a zoo.
I brought you some cookies.
Oh, you brought those? 'Cause-
Brought us some cookies.
Gosh darn it.
Cookies. They're gluten free.
When you were gone, I reached in there and grabbed half a cookie, and I wanted you to be mad that I ate some of your cookie.
I'm not mad. I'm happy. They're
All right.
gluten free cookies for all.
Although one of them is already just a half a cookie. Like she gave us.
That was probably Emily.
That just means you ate. You're just giving us your leftovers that you don't want.
They're Emily's leftovers. Also, Molly's.
All right.
The Dumb Zone
Oh, hell yeah.
presents
You guys have a fridge?
Day in History.
Damn, son.
I'll be in here doing deals.
Can we use your fridge?
Of course.
Oh, yeah, man.
Can we drink your wine? Today is Tuesday, November 12th. On this day in 1920, Major League Baseball hired U.S. District Judge Kennesaw Mount Landis to be the game's first commissioner because they were all upset because the 1919 World Series was a scandal. You know what that was, Blake? 1919 World Series?
The Black Sox.
There you go.
Shoeless Joe.
Look at Blake. He knows so much about history.
He does.
I don't.
On this day in 1928, George Gipp's request to win one for the Gipper was fulfilled against Army. Notre Dame beat Army 12-6. On this day in 1989, 8-ball, Troy Aikman passed for an NFL rookie record of 379 yards in a loss to the Phoenix Cardinals, on the way to a 1-15 record under Jimmy Johnson. And I think the rookie record now is Andrew Luck in 2012 with 433 yards. Because I know you're wondering about that. On this day in 2017, President Trump. Remember Trump was president?
I do.
That's going to happen again.
So, I'm sorry. I wanted to look this up because I was kind of I really liked the Cardinals when I was a kid, of various forms. That was
because of Jake the Snake?
Oh, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but if you go back even further, that was a Tom Tupa team.
The quarterback / punter?
Are you aware of that, Blake?
Vaguely.
All right. I mean, he was their starting quarterback.
Oh, I didn't know he was ever a starter.
Yeah. Pretty crazy. I
knew
mean, he was the starter that year.
We don't have enough
At least
quarterback
games.
punters.
I know. I don't know. What's he going to do? Kick it? It's crazy.
So did the Cardinals beat the Cowboys in 96?
Yes.
Is that right? Because
the playoff game, that's the Jake the Snake game.
Yeah, at their stadium in Glendale, one of their media elevators has like a little corridor, and up on the walls is just about that game. Like newspaper articles from before the game saying they had no chance, and then shots of the game, and then it's like, I don't know, it's like a little shrine of that one game against the Cowboys.
It was a big deal for them.
So on this day in 2017, President Trump, we're going to get these again. This is going to come back, I think.
Awesome.
So he tweeted at Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, said, "Why would Kim Jong-un insult me by calling me old when I would never call him short and fat?"
Love the quotes.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, I try so hard to be his friend, and maybe someday that will happen. That is vaguely racist. Like, it almost sounds like he's doing an Asian impression there. By the way, did you see the note somebody posted this morning of, and I'm sure we all do it, but because it's not your guy, you don't believe it, but let's be honest. Trump says so much wild stuff and does so much wild stuff. I believe the things you read about him, that like time zones were a real problem for him. And like he really liked Shinzo Abe from Japan, their prime minister, but he would want to call him during the daytime, and they're like, he's definitely asleep, and he just didn't. It didn't make
Like you
sense.
wanted to call him, but it's 3 a.m. there.
Yeah, that it was constantly having to explain to him that it's different times in different parts of the world was a challenge.
Maybe because he just doesn't sleep too, right?
He definitely does not
Doesn't
sleep
he sleep
much.
4 hours a night, something like that?
Shinzo Abe assassinated, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Mhm.
So who do they got?
I don't know. There was a time when I might have been able to hit you with a bunch of world leaders.
Did
Now's
someone
not
run
the
a
time.
car over him, or did they use a gun?
Was it a gun? Homemade gun.
Because guns aren't prevalent. And on this day in 2021, a judge in Los Angeles ended the conservatorship. I think I kind of nailed that word.
Yep.
Of Britney Spears that controlled the life and money of Britney for 14 years. Free Britney. She's free. Birthdays today.
How's she doing, Blake? My wife tells me not well.
She's still crazy as hell.
Okay. Just checking in.
Former Cowboy Cliff Harris, 76. Good dude. Former Ranger Sammy Sosa, 56.
Confusing. And younger than I thought.
Is he white now?
He's been white for a minute.
Yeah. Former Maverick Davis Bertans is 32.
We tried.
All right.
Nico?
I want to give you the story of two former Mavericks. Because we also have former Maverick Trey Burke is 32. Same age. Davis Bertans, career average, 7.7 points a game. Trey Burke, career average, 9.6 points a game. Davis Bertans has made
$90 million.
$79 million.
Yeah. Trey Burke, I'm going to guess 35.
25.
Okay.
Okay. You're about the same, a little too far on each one.
And really what happened is both of them had a good year, but Trey Burke's good year was much less.
Yeah, it's timing, where you are, what team you're on, all that.
His good year was at Michigan.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Former Cowboy Alan Hearns is 33.
Man.
2018, baby.
We're going to build everything around him, right?
Maybe it's 2017 and 18.
We don't need a number one receiver.
Yeah.
We'll just have a committee. And then he had a really nasty leg break. In the playoff game?
I don't
Week 17?
No one knows.
Al Michaels is 80.
No veggies, baby.
Jason Day is 37. The golfer. Paulo Banchero is... Banchero?
Is he good?
He's 22.
I think he's pretty great. Yeah,
he was Rookie of the Year. Down year, though.
Yeah, week draft class.
Yeah, I don't know that it's quite a Michael Carter-Williams Rookie of the Year, though.
He's just on the Magic and...
He's been hurt, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He was out when the Mavericks played him.
Yeah, but he dropped 50 earlier this year. I just don't know how empty that is.
Well, I'll take him.
Well, yeah.
Wait, I like to search the old guys, and I forgot to this morning just to make sure they're alive. Oh, he's dead? Thanks, Rob.
2022.
Who?
Mills Lane?
Mills Lane. Sorry. He's on my Burt Bourne list. I'm going to have to move him over. Let's.
Guy from Celebrity Deathmatch?
Yeah, I was going to say that was a big player on a dad weekend, too. Those were not in Mom's house. My dad thought it was the greatest technology he'd ever seen.
Was that MTV?
Yeah, it's claymation.
Former heavyweight champion and filmmaker Michael Moorer is 57.
Again.
It's the boxer.
Yeah.
Is 57. Russell Westbrook is 36. Tanya Harding is 54. Ryan Gosling is 44.
Would.
Anne Hathaway is 42.
Wouldn't.
What?
Singer Neil Young, 79.
Possible Roseanne. No, wait. I'm thinking of the other guy. Neil. The bloated one. Is he from Motley Crue?
Vince Neil?
Vince Neil is a possible Roseanne. I think. Last time I checked. He's looking a little less zany.
Got one for Jake here. Rachel Dolezal, 47.
Wow.
Jake.
My NAACP queen. She's got nudes.
Nudes?
Yeah.
Really?
I think it was OnlyFans.
She's white but said she was black, correct?
Correct. Yeah. She, as you can see there, yeah.
Rhonda Shear is 70.
Why don't I know that name?
She was on USA's Up All Night. She was like the hot lady, supposedly.
What is Up All Night?
I don't know. It was like movies and stuff. They would just put weird stuff on USA late night. Whatever.
Was it like softcore-y?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was just weird stuff. I don't know. I don't really know, actually.
It says it was horror movies mostly.
Okay, well, I stand by what I said at
Okay,
the end, where
yeah.
I don't know, actually. Wallace Shawn is 81.
Well, it has Maya Rudolph in it, so it can't be that good.
Up All Night?
It's not a movie.
No, you're talking about two different things here.
The USA Network would just have a thing every Saturday.
Yeah,
night
yeah.
or
Kind of
Friday
like
night.
they had,
series?
kind of like the TNT thing or TBS or whatever.
And Megan Mullally is 66. I like her.
Got nothing.
From Will and Grace and Children's Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Born on this Day Now Dead, DeWitt Wallace, the founder of Reader's Digest.
So spare.
I used to be a reader of that because it was at my grandma's house.
I would read it too.
And then, like, later, somebody's like, oh, yeah, that's a right wing, this or that. I'm like, oh, I just kind of liked it. I like the
I didn't even know that. I
like
there was a point at which I was like, this is...
I like humor and uniform. You could send in jokes, and I once sent in a joke to try to make $50.
What was it?
I don't recall.
That was the start of Air Force One.
Yeah, it was when I think I was in high school or early college. I thought, maybe this is a way I can make money. And so I sent one joke, and I didn't get $50. I was like, these guys don't know what's funny.
Right.
Also born on this day now dead, Charles Manson. And dead on this day still dead, Stan Lee.
The Marvel guy?
Yeah, he was in all of the... He made a cameo in all the movies.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense why I wouldn't know him. I'm DC.
The creator of Spider-Man.
Wait, I thought Spider-Man was DC, though. No,
Nobody knows.
Who cares?
And
that's the problem.
was today in history.
Are we doing a sode tomorrow?
That's the plan. It's our jam-packed Biz Wednesday, but I do think we can talk a little afternoon hab talk.
All right.
Huh?
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.